So to invite people. That's loud as hell, Heather. That's okay. That's fine. They'll ask, I'll tell them. They'll ask, and I'll tell them. It's a breast pump. Deal with it. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, what's going on?
You know, scarf.
Damn.
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Okay.
Mic check. Oh, you
Yep.
can't see my.
It's blocky. Speak to the left and speak to the right.
Check, check. Check, check. Mic check.
Yeah. Okay.
It's picking
Do-
up my. I was watching Planet of the Apes.
Oh, can you hear Heather's breast pump? Yes. Oh, you turn things around. You're facing the other way.
Yeah.
What?
Try something different. Yeah?
What? You know, the logo was covered by the mic. I thought that was an Ottawa 67's jersey at first.
Not good. Not good. What if I do this? Is that better? Can't even tell.
Yeah.
I'd have to get a booster seat.
You said it, not me. Okay. I'm going to go open Garage just to make sure everything sounds right. You have, oh, that sounds better for me. Shit. Okay. Whatever I just did. Versus here, versus here, versus here, versus here. Oh, wow. That's a big difference. Like directly in front of. So yeah. Talking 1, 2, 3, talking 1, 2, 3, talking 1, 2, 3, talking 1, 2, 3. Wow. Big difference.
How about now? Check, check. Check, check. Check, check.
Yep. Directly in front was.
Back.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Wow. Okay. For me, just a slightly off center was, like if I keep speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Oh, this everything. That was the remote on the table.
Yeah. Oh God.
Everything.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Break wind.
I'm wondering if as we get big into these things, whether or not it's better served to have something like a boom.
Yeah, yeah.
So that you're not looking down. I feel like I'm looking down and it's opposed to up and projecting.
I agree.
Okay, so GarageBand pre-roll. This is a test. Test, test, test. This is a test. I don't think so.
No. We'll put it to the side, man. I got to see a little bit of the old man. Shit.
Test, 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 test. Okay. There we go. Where the fuck was I recording? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, he can play with the gain. He can play with the gain on his end. Don't save. All right. How come we're always waiting for him?
I don't know. He changes the time, and then we sit and wait for him. Damn. I just heard a bling. No.
Nope. Here we go.
Oh, there he is.
We're just catching grief, saying, "How come he's always late?"
Hello?
Hello.
Shalom. It's my Jewish side.
What's the response to that, anyways? What are you supposed to say to that?
I don't know. I wore a yarmulke once, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna know.
Not
I
just-
just knew at the synagogue, man, them say shalom, and I was like, yo, shalom. I don't know. You know, it's not like, you know, when the Nation of Islam guys were walking the streets of New York, and you're like, assalamu alaikum, assalam. You're like, I don't know what the response is, bro. I'm not that guy.
No. Wait. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. What is it?
Yo,
I think so.
You're not taping this yet, right? You look like fools.
We're taping. It's live.
We can always chop it, though.
Oh, God.
Of course.
Well, we even look like
CIA
fools. I don't.
CIA will chop it and be like, yeah, I heard them talking about Jewish people. And then they'll be like protesting outside your house. You'll see.
Salam.
So everybody sounds crisp, but
Yeah, we were checking earlier, and I was wondering the right mic placement. So
you sound good. You still sound like shite.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, that's just my team.
Bring your
man.
what's your setting right now?
Do I need to turn up the gain? Is that what it is?
Maybe a little bit. The gain should be like 11 o'clock for you.
I can't turn up no more.
No, not all the way. The gain, so 12 o'clock, and then just put it a little bit before that's 11, right?
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. There we go. You sound like you're in a cave for a while.
I sound like people now?
Nah,
back in-
bene.
So,
And so your
salam
setting too
alaikum.
is also
and you say, wa alaikum salam.
wa alaikum salam. That's what it is. Okay, all right.
Peace unto
Yes.
you and unto
Right.
you peace.
Yalla Habibi. That's what I remember. Yalla Habibi.
I learned that from my boy when I was in grade. I used to hear cats say it, but I never knew what the response was until I was playing soccer with this kid from Somalia, and he'd say it, and I'm like, "What's the response to that again?" He had to teach me like over and over. I'd always forget.
Walaikum assalam. Was it Walaikum salam? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Walaikum assalam. Salam.
He's practicing so he can sound nice. That when the Saudis come to his office to do business.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Or how's that? Is that better?
You sound good. Let me, Dwayne, is your thing setting is to like the little heart shaped looking thing?
There's the infinity, there's two circles, and then there's like two interlock circles.
And there's a heart too. There's an ass.
You're not saying a heart.
It looked like a heart, like a heart ish
Yeah, there should be 4, and it's position 3 from left to right.
Back to that.
position.
Yep.
Position 3 from left to right. Yep.
Maybe my base is just too.
Yeah. Well, stay close, anyways. Don't be too far from the mic, but not so close that you pop too much, or I'm gonna have to
I
like.
ain't popping.
I think you had your television on. You said, right? You had some game in the
No,
background.
it's muted.
It's good. His room is a little bit more echoey than I have a lot of stuff in here, so it sounds
I
really.
got lots of space in this room. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
So here's
Okay.
We're good for audio.
Here's what's funny. If I put the headphones inside the microphone,
Yeah.
hear my own voice.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
supposed to, so you can hear
You're
yourself.
supposed to.
Yeah, it's perfect. But then the volume on the laptop is like going out to everyone.
It is so there's a setting inside where it's internal, right?
Yeah.
So that you don't actually hear anybody else except for yourself in the headphones.
And
So
so
when you
that-
go
and so
to
that
your
nobody else
I'm
hears.
gonna unplug it from the microphone. We'll go back to square one, man.
no, you can do it inside the settings. If you go to your preferences.
but I'm better like this. because now I can hear you like you guys are speaking to me. I know what I'm saying. I don't have to hear.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, but I'm saying you can do both. So if you do internal speakers built in, like it's already set there, and then it's set to 1 second.
To the Yeti stereo
Check
microphone.
1 2 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So output, there's output and input, right? So output is right now is inside the thing. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Input is USB. So you'll just hear select the sound.
You know, you're looking for stuff that I'm not going to change it. Right?
I know. You're so
I'm
stubborn.
just being real. I'm just being real.
Yeah, so you can hear yourself. And so
I know why you're
it's
saying
not-
But Dwayne was saying he doesn't want other people to hear us.
I know, but you could. Wait a second, Greg. Can you also out here outbound on your laptop also?
I moved it so that baby girl, wifey don't hear any of this. So everything goes through my headphones.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to. You don't have to like.
No, but
Him.
it's just that one setting. But I'm not.
And
I'm not
I
gonna
can
mess
hear
with it.
myself, and
I
nobody
can,
else.
I can hear myself.
What,
Hmm?
Dwayne?
I
If
don't
you
know what I
wanna
say
hear
in
yourself.
and I know what I say.
Oh, see.
Well, there's another way to it. And you can do it just in Hangouts. Don't do it in like settings. So if you go to, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's true. That you can do that there also.
When I did it.
So yeah.
When I did
Yeah, everything I say, I fall upon deaf ear.
No, I can hear it. I can hear it 100%.
I got the look. I'm not listening.
He's like, whatever, guy.
I'm about to like, well, if you put your mouse over here,
Yeah, click over here
Yeah,
and then triple click on this side. Swipe right.
I'm not listening.
I'm not listening.
Yeah. Oops, I hit something here by accident. What's this showcase thing I just hit?
Yes. And there's cameraman.
Okay.
feature. There's a no, that's only when we get there. But if
The
someone
control
was to, there's a cameraman feature, which is above control room.
Oh,
And
okay.
if someone like burns, if someone just shows up, because this is live broadcast, anybody can show up who has a link. I'm not sure how they're going to find the link, but if they're just looking and it comes up, they can just join, and we could auto mute. We can hide them. We can make them visible. There's a bunch of things we can do if we want to do this more.
Right.
For
I
broadcast,
got you.
but we don't do that right now.
For broadcast. So it's interesting. When I was going over the audio, what's strange is that you're the one recording, Greg.
Yep.
Yet, I sound like the crispest on. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's my laptop, the way my settings are. I have no idea, but
You sound the
It's
crispest
weird,
from my end as well.
yeah, that's so crazy.
We're trying to say I'm not Crips.
No, me either.
You're crisp with a lisp.
Nothing wrong with the lisp.
Even with a lisp, you sound crisp.
Maestro Frescoes.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's. Oh, wait a minute. That just sounded different too. Maybe it's our placement relative to Mike.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's the room. Maybe it's
I don't
actually you have more experience actually with on-air voice, so you probably are just better to begin with. So over and above the situation, it may just be that you'll sound better.
Could be.
Well, as long as
I
it's not the snowball sound that like from week 1 and 2, and we're all good.
Oh
man.
yeah. I was trying. Honestly, I was like, this. If we're really gonna try and do this, I'm like, this is not sounding too good. I was like, man.
But you got to start somewhere, right? At the end of the day, you got to.
No, but it's actually what I'm saying is it's good. That's how you figure out what's good, what works and what doesn't work, right? In terms of like finding the happy medium for everybody. And at the end of the day, this sounds way better than everything else. I'm just saying, just so that we sound above average. You know what I mean? Like better than anything else we've done, which is how we sound now. So, which is good. And we don't have to care about visuals, so we're not worried about that. We're just caring about.
Toonie cares about
Sound.
visuals. You're gonna come with the old man cap and a scarf.
Well, this guy's got like an Ashkoff and shit.
For real, man.
He's
It's a
looking
dinner
he's
jacket
very
next time.
Parisian. Yeah,
I know where he's coming from.
It's cool.
I know where he's coming from. I know what he's trying to.
you've been to Europe way too many times.
We've got a lot of scarves. In fact, this is Heather's.
You know what's funny? In 2017, nobody would know.
Yep.
Not
or
a
care.
soul would know.
Or care.
Or care. Yeah.
Or care.
No care or no. That's hilarious. Okay, cool. So
We can always drop that part. No one
okay,
has to
just
know.
so that we are get on top of some stuff. Our key things that we're talking about are
Was one of them swimming?
what?
That's what
Swimming?
you picked. You
Okay.
want to talk
Yeah.
about swimming. I think he just wanted to
I
make
could
fun
do
of me
swimming.
not being able
No,
to
no.
swim.
There's a lot
Well,
to it.
you're the only black kid in the pool that can't swim. So okay, that's fine. And what else? I
And then,
I
Dwayne,
was-
you were talking about customer service or something?
because
Yo,
we
I had.
definitely can go
Oh, we can go on for days about customer service. So
days. I taught
All right, then let me do this. I'm going to set a timer for both topics,
Okay.
yes.
and I won't tell. Like this,
Yep.
I'll just ping something in the channel or something, so we know.
All right.
Okay.
So even better. Okay. Easy stopwatch timer, and we can set it to 30 minutes per topic area.
So I've been collecting more 45s. I went 45 shopping the other day.
Do you want to hold in and have that as part of the topic to talk about, or as an opener, or
Sure.
okay? So
I just want to test
stopwatch.
something to see if
Okay, sure.
Hold on a second. Let me just test something to see if this will actually work. Let's see if this will actually work.
Oh,
Oh,
that's baby
Aw,
making
shit.
music. Baby making music.
Greg's gonna go for one more. All right.
Make it blind. Make it blind. Have one more.
Shit.
If it's in the Lord's plan, so be it. But
If it is the Lord's plan, I said go.
that's not my plan.
No.
Nope. Nope.
Squeeze.
One
One more time.
One
One
more.
more time.
Actually, wait a minute.
One more.
So I have 3 counting woofers. Dwayne has 2. Yes, I'm counting him. Dwayne has 2. If we're about to throw some pressure anywhere,
Well, you already know that equation's already out. We already just established that from jump. First of all, there's too many of us on this planet. Second of all, maybe somewhere in the world there is another Rich Neeks I don't know about. Who knows?
all right.
Who knows?
I'm sure everybody would know.
Well, I've been to a lot of places. Things happen. I don't know. Some kid. Hey,
Be the kid running the
somebody
party.
we know.
Yo,
Listen,
come to
somebody you know.
What's the flyer, man? Come.
Someone we know very, very well. Okay, years ago, had a situation where somebody showed up to his house and says, "Hey, listen, your daughter's giving me a little trouble." He's like, What'd you say? What'd you say? Yeah. Remember I went away for a little while and we didn't see each other and da 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 da. Well, this is your 9-year-old kid.
Wow.
Mm.
I would only think that would happen in movies, and it happened for real.
Oh wow.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe. He couldn't believe it either.
Like DNA verified and shit. or just-
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So
Wow.
he's known about her for a while. Yeah, crazy.
That's not good.
Yeah, it was a very big surprise for him, considering he already had 2 other little small kids. Like, oh sorry, she was even older than that. She was not 9. She was like 12. Yeah, 12 or 13. Yeah, 12 or 13. Sorry. Yeah, jeez. He had just had 2, like 1 and a 2-year-old. So
Wow.
that was a super, super, super surprise.
With my
Can you
super
imagine?
high my super high sperm count, I gotta be careful.
your pin, your the head of a pin is very, very, very deep, as it would
It's
call it.
125 million
Oh my god.
per millimeter, where like normal guys are 3.
Yeah, you're fertile, son.
Gotta watch out.
If we ever have a real apocalypse and we need people,
Yeah.
we will
Gotta
call
watch
you.
out for the
Call
potholes.
Toonie.
We're gonna freeze your shit now.
Hey guys, what's going on? Hey.
Lots of wrong people real quick. Toonie, get over here.
real quick.
I can do quick.
Uh,
All right. On the topic.
The
Okay,
army,
so
the
All right,
army
sorry.
is wrong.
The Army of
Yes.
Wrong, just now. These are, by the way,
125
when you send me these things, I'm just gonna splice these little things in there that are like side note things that we just do just for fun.
Side note.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Good. So
when we
timer's
start,
on.
how much time
Yep.
are we talking here? So that we
If we give it, if at 30 minutes, we all get a little note. It's at 30 minutes. We just move on.
okay, cool.
So then if we assume that there's some chopping here or there, 20 to 25, some opener, 25, a break, 25 hour.
I mean, we may take less. We may take. Yeah,
Way,
take
way
less
more.
is better. I don't know about more. We definitely want to take less because I'm like listening to our stuff and I'm like, holy smoke, it's a lot.
3 hours.
And it's okay, to be honest. Like sometimes we're gonna get on to something and it's like everything we're saying is important and it's just gonna stay. You know what I mean? Like I listen to Joe Rogan, it's like 2 hours for the most interesting conversation he's having with somebody. You know what I mean? So as long as we don't keep going in a circle, we're good.
So then do we want to have Dwayne do an intro today?
Sure, let's do it. Because it's your topic, son.
It wasn't my topic; it was Greg's topic. But
It's just taking turns.
Well, what I mean is this is your idea, so you should really listen. If we're gonna just make this number uno, I'm still gonna splice in a lot of other shit that's just gonna pop up in some of these podcasts.
Yep.
Like literally through every podcast, we're just gonna be like, one day we're talking and this is what happened. And this thing, and people are like, what?
so you want me to qualify with the date or just introduce? Right? What up? What up? What up?
Yeah. So the music comes in, starting to fade out, and you start talking. Go ahead.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Welcome to Thesil, the shit we like, or the shit I like.
That's right.
Where's Trio so the shit we like.
Yep.
Dwayne Barker. We got Greg Fields, Richard Dixon on the mic.
Hello.
What up?
Today we're going to talk about swimming.
Swimming.
Now, let's make sure that everybody knows who here can swim. Rich Neek says yes.
Partially.
Greg says he floats.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. I can't tread. That's my problem. I can swim somewhere, and if I'm like racing somewhere, I can do some of that. But just to like tread water and sit there. So when my friends we're out in the lake, and they just want to, hey, let's go jump in the water and just tread. And then one friend said, it's not wrong if we bring our life jackets and just float. I said, that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But
give me some floaties. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me just close the door.
But I was thinking about, in general, there are peoples who don't swim, and I'm sure there's
the statistics in America, and I didn't like go worldwide or anything like that, but it basically says 54% of the people cannot swim.
In general. Like that was just general, not gender specific, not race specific, just 54%.
54%
of what?
Of people cannot swim. And it's 1/3 of African Americans that cannot swim.
1/3.
1/3.
And that's about the same in the UK. I was looking at that a little bit earlier, but I was thinking, so take our own situations. So you guys know I've got 8 other brothers and sisters.
Right.
How many of us can swim? Okay, so Devin's he was a Navy ice diver. Okay, so that's whatever.
That's like
he's swimming for 6 people.
He's swimming for everybody.
He's like he was doing, what do you call those? The free ones where you just like you've got no tank, you've got nothing.
What?
Into like the ice, into like anyways. My sister Marlene was a lifeguard. Dennis can't swim. Krista can. I'm kind of. Christina kinda, but not really. Vanessa, yes. Fitzroy, no.
One of what, 4 right there?
And surprisingly, so normally what I've seen is that black women don't swim to get them. You don't want to get the hair messed up, whereas all my sisters did.
Is that
you
US
said whatever.
thing? Because I don't really remember that with like island people. I don't. Well, maybe more.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. So what is it? So in my own little world, it was don't want to get your hair mashed up.
Right.
For those who were coming from an African nation, while before slavery, you were in the water, but slavery when boats came to drape up people,
Yeah.
water meant slavery, so that you had to avoid the water. And then there is the whole issue of poverty, and there's not many pools in the hood. So growing up in Des Moines, we had to go pretty far to get to a pool, except for the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club. Sorry, but so I guess what I want to talk about is, one, what have you guys seen? So in your own lives, and is there are there socioeconomic issues that actually are at the root of swimming?
So I'm going to give you my my story. So not only did I swim. Okay, when I first got into like water, I was a little bit afraid of water, and I think the reason is because of Jaws. I foolishly watched Jaws before I went into any ocean water. I had no problem with like wading pools and stuff like that. I hadn't learned how to like do full like swim strokes and things like that. And I was staying on the Cape every summer, and it took my godmother forever to just get me to dive off the dock. Not even the dock, like there's steps and it's shallow water. Just for me to just dive to her was like an hour. Like she was going wrinkly, sitting in the water waiting for me, because the water is darker and it, there's all this mental stuff. And it wasn't that, it wasn't that I didn't want to be in the water. I don't know what it is, that blockage to just you look at the water and you think fear.
Yeah, healthy
and maybe
fear.
It's a little bit of right. And you got to remember, Jaws was shot in Cape Cod, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So those signs were everywhere. The shark stuff was everywhere. Even though there's not any great whites in that area, period. There's sand sharks.
Wait, you just pass by sand sharks that get soft, no problem. It's a cat.
Sand sharks don't do a damn thing to you. Though, like they don't. I mean, there's sharks anywhere up and down the coast in the summer. Sometimes they come a little bit higher than usual. Sometimes they, whatever, things happen, but it's very rare. As we all know, the statistics, you getting bit by a shark is very low. Although I feel like with the less amount of fish in the water, there's probably a higher probability nowadays. I mean, I could be wrong. Don't quote me. Google it if you have to. But anyways, so I kind of had this fear of the water, and it just genuine, because it wasn't like my mom was swimming. It wasn't like my grandmother was swimming. Not something that we all did. But because I was on the vineyard in the summer, I was like going to the beach all the time. I was kind of wading in the water. So finally, I did the jump, right? And it wasn't so bad.
This is off of a pier, you said?
Yeah, this is off of a pier. So it's like a little steps. It's steps that go into the water, and then because you can't see anything, you actually, if you break that fear once, that's it. You're good. Like once you've done it mentally, and this is just proven, once you've done it, you're good. Now, swimming from shallow water into deep water, that's a whole other level. So I get back now to Canada, and my mom wants there's a lot of programs. Obviously, we live in the project, so we're like, we got this program where they want you to get your kids into some sort of sport, just to keep you out of trouble.
Yep. What was the pool near you guys?
Alexander Park, very shallow pool, but they also, the great thing about Alexander Park is that they had little programs for kids to kind of like learn to wade in the water, like when they didn't have the lifeguards there, so you could get little badges and stuff. So it was cool. Like, I don't know, like a lot of those programs ended up going away. There wasn't any money for them. They shut down certain pools, and like you said, there wasn't enough pools in the city around to go. The other pool was down on Bank Street that was like an old pool place. Like, it's like you go in there, it looked like it was made in the 1950s. Those are the pools that they would take you for school. Jack Purcell had a pool.
When you describe that, I just think of pure urine.
Oh yeah. It's like old brick building and it's just a pool. You're like, anyways, I didn't get to those till later, but I do remember my mom saying to this woman, she came around to see what we'd sign up for, to get me into some sort of sport, outside of school. And my two choices were hockey and professional swimming.
Wow. That's pretty Canadian, actually.
Very. I don't know about the swimming part, but it would have been like Could have been like it could have been like speed skating. There was no speed skating, but like artistic skating. Probably there was a program for that too. But there was hockey and there was swimming. We're poor, and hockey is really expensive. Any parent will tell you that. To even get one of your kids in the pads, the sticks, the lessons, like getting there. So we live in the West End, and then we had to go to where Barbara Ann.
Yep.
Scott,
Barbara and Scott.
Barbara and Scott.
Barbara and Scott. So right beside that, there's a pool, and so I went to go look at the hockey thing. I wasn't really feeling the hockey thing. It wasn't even that my mom didn't even talk to us about money. It wasn't any of that thing, but I think she's kind of glad that I was like, I'll try the swimming thing. Because I remember I just had broken the, okay, I'm not afraid of water anymore thing. And I'm figuring it's just fun. You're going to just go swim in this water.
Weren't you afraid of being Ashy Larry?
Listen, I had no, because you come out of the water, you're like super, like the chlorine.
Yeah.
You come out, you're dry as, and it's winter. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so when I come out the pool and like by the time I get home, I'm like Ashy Larry for real.
Yep.
So I choose swimming. I don't know why. I just did. So me and my little swim shots, I'm like 11, 12 maybe or something of that sort. And I'm like I get there and I don't even realize it till I get there, but I'm the only black kid in the entire building, never mind just the pool.
And at that time, there wouldn't have been Lebanese kids there. There wouldn't have been.
Nope. None. That wasn't a cult. It's just like culturally, just not a thing that you put your kids into that sport. You're more likely. There's no cricket on. You're more likely to see some kids in the regular football. Like football in our area was a multinational thing. We had kids from Lebanon. We had girls on the team. We had it was a mix of everything. Whereas swimming, when I started, I was the only black kid in the pool. And I didn't know how to swim yet. So it took me a while to get to do flutterboard. I finally started getting, and then I did my first, fast forward, I did my first team event in Perth. And people are like, yeah, in Perth. We stay overnight at this place for a swim tournament, and I'm swimming in the water. I'm like dead last, fam. Dead last. Like I'm not only is it the token black kid who doesn't, because black people don't swim. I'm last, okay. And again, I'm oblivious to all this stuff. I'm not faded by the fact that I'm last. I just want to finish. And I hear people cheering for me like nobody's business.
Oh God!
Wait, I'm last. Wait.
Was this right around Cool Running?
No. This is before Cool Running. They're cheering for me like it's cute. There's this black kid in the pool and he's just trying and struggling to the water. Yeah. So breaststroke is my best stroke, and I leaned on it the most. I was like, look, just put me in breaststroke. If front stroke, don't put me. I couldn't do butterfly till this day. Don't ask me to try to do butterfly. Backstroke, I was like going left to right a lot. It took me forever to kind of get that down. I did that for like a year and a half, and I still up to that time and times after that when I used to watch swimming, I was always for years looking for, when are we going to get a black swimmer? When are we going to get a guy who can actually go in the pool? Because it has nothing to do, and I know part of it is the buoyancy of you've read these reports
Bullshit.
about how heavier the bone structure of whatever, the density, maybe not, but then you make up for that in muscle and there's all kinds of. But at the end of the day, culturally, it's because of access. If I didn't choose that, nobody would come looking for me to say, hey, look at him. You know what? You kind of got the build or something that you could do swimming. Instead, they would say to me, or maybe baseball, right at that time. So culturally, I think that if a community wants to limit you on what they think you can do, then you're constantly going to say, oh, I shouldn't be skiing or I shouldn't be swimming.
Yeah.
Right. So I literally jumped into the frying pan. And I was the only. And I remember I got at the end of the year, I got this great trophy for just being this kid who just put his head down, and nobody really said anything racist to me at all. Like I didn't have any of that stuff.
Nice.
So, but I when I look back at it, it's a shame because my brothers who are at the pool every day at Alexander Park, jumping in that water, right? And a lot of other kids were in that water, and nobody really thought to say, maybe, you know, so-and-so or such and such might want to try swimming. It was just like, it's not a thing.
Never.
Right?
Yeah, so
I
you're
don't
saying
know.
stroke. So my backstroke was straight. My
You're good.
front was good. Butterfly, not so much. And I could just not tread water. And then here's the interesting part.
I was good at treading water.
The interesting part is that so my wifey Heather has like her family, now my family, have a lake house. So it's a really beautiful lake, and it's her favorite place in the world. So I spend lots of time there, and I've had to come to enjoy the parts of the water. So as you're saying, shallow to deep, no worries. Jumping off boats, no problem. Even water skiing to a degree,
right?
But it's not a pastime. I don't say, hey, I gotta do a couple laps. That's just not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of all those, the treading water and the breaststroke was the one that was difficult.
I'm gonna have to when we put up our little website for this podcast, I'm gonna have to put the ribbons that I have for the races that I did.
Ribbons?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So that's real.
That's for some. Yeah, it was real. It was like I was, you know, I tell people like, yeah, people like I'll give you for instance, 4 summers ago, I was on a boat cruise, and it was me, Spence, a couple other guys, and they were like, and this guy was like, no offense, right? Like black guys don't. There's not. He goes, do you swim? He's going, do you swim? They're like, no. And then they said it, and they come to me. They're like, do you swim? I'm like, yeah. They're like, holy shit. I'm like, not only swim, I did like, you know, professional swimming, like as a kid. And they're like, for real? Like it was.
And then you say, I've got ribbons.
Right. Fast forward 2012, we have a Jamaican girl swimmer 100-meter stroke wins a medal. Right, like sets the world record at one point. I mean, it's just cultural. It has it's not about some buoyancy and this, that, the other thing. If you have a program put forward, then it will happen.
But in like on the island, so we'll talk about in Jamaica.
Yeah,
right, which is surrounded by bloody water.
But there's lots of kids, lots of people that swim.
Lots of kids swim.
If you're by the water, you swim. Well, I grew up where they would always say the sea don't have no branches.
Right.
So you get out there, you're either getting washed away, or you're gonna drown right where you are. So Hellshire Beach, when the tide comes in and wants to pull you out, it's pulling.
It's pulling. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
people if you don't know how to deal with it.
So I got like little ribbons and certificates and stuff like that from grade 4 and 5. I was in, like, our school took us to swimming classes for like 4 or 5 weeks at a time or whatever. So I did it.
Right.
I could float on my back. I could do that flutter board thing. I could hold my breath. I could tread water for the 2 minutes you had to. I could do all that stuff.
Right.
Then after that, I lost the desire to be in the water. I didn't want, like, it's not that I dislike it, but it's not my first choice. Or my second choice.
But don't you think every kid should learn to swim?
Absolutely.
I mean, just on a safe.
100%.
Every single person.
My kids know how to swim because I don't know how to swim.
That's right.
Yep. And to give credence,
like
lend some credence to Dwayne's story. So, so while I'm in Waterloo, Richard, you're in Toronto, Dwayne's in Ottawa. The cottage is about 4 hours northeast of Waterloo, making it about a 3-hour drive from Ottawa. Kind of scenic. And I'm saying in the summer, hey, Dwayne, just bring the kids, bring Anita, come on up, because we're always up there. And to me, it's a good place, and it's fun, and you can stay over or not. And it was like, yeah, okay, well, maybe. what are you talking about? There's water. We got the boats, and yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Because it doesn't have the same draw. Why am I going under the water?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Right?
I get it. It's like
And when
wine
they did
country for
come,
me.
and this year actually, so when they did come, it was too cold to go in the water.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's
They
the whole
still
other
went in
thing.
the water. The kids went in the water. The last time we were there, the kids went in the water.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, where were we?
You don't remember sitting on the dock? No,
No.
we were inside, and Anita was sitting on the dock, and the kids went in the water. They brought it.
And the kids went in. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
what were we doing?
We were inside.
Were we cooking or something?
You know what?
No.
I actually think we were, because we were talking business, and then we started prepping. And I remember because Woofus was all wet a couple times, and they were throwing like the whatever out for him to go get it and come back. And then remember that spooky, scary, like wandering dog came over, and Woof was like, "Yo, I'm out."
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he came inside.
Yep. He knew that guy was trouble.
Yeah.
That was an
So
island dog.
Island dog, like a wandering dog.
It's
Yeah,
a
I don't
Tur-
like
from
wandering
from
dogs.
Turks and Caicos.
I have no fear. I have no fear of dogs ever since I've been bit. But I definitely do. Like when I see a wandering dog that just has no business wandering, I'm like, listen, it's time to move from you.
If Woofus is out, I'm out.
I'm out
And
too.
for- and
You know
yeah,
something we
Woofus-
don't know.
For everybody else, Woofus is a 28-pound, 3-year-old mini golden doodle that's all white with a little bit of caramel, and he's called Woofus because
Woofus.
my wife's an English major.
Oh,
So, Woofus.
I got it.
They're the best names. If we have another dog, his name's going to be Arthur.
Arthur, not Arthur, but Arthur.
Arthur.
Wow.
People
That's
say
interesting.
Woofus. Do you mean Rufus? Mm-mm. Woofus, as in woof. Yes.
So, Greg, do you actually swim now that you've been out there, or you just actually just float? You don't really make an effort to actually swim. Like you wouldn't go and say, okay, it said swim to the buoy and then swim back. You're not that guy.
To the buoy.
Why am I going to a buoy?
Fam, that's what people do when they go to the cottage. Eh?
To the buoy.
They swim to the little dock in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, when I was
And then
younger,
they
we would
swim back.
Yeah, so when I was younger, friends had a cottage, and they had a floating dock. So the big dock, and then like 60 feet out or something, connected and anchored, was a floating dock, and you swam to it. Instead, we just built a bigger dock, and we just jump off of it, go out like 10 feet, and turn around just to get in the water.
Yep.
I got a story.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Bring it
Yeah.
on.
So year one, Ottawa U, we do some fitness testing, right? So
Right.
this is the off season. So we've already played the season, right?
For football, you're talking?
Yes, for football.
Okay.
So now this is the off season where you're waking up in the morning, you're doing all kinds of like calisthenics, this, that, run training, sprint training, blah, blah, blah. And they decided they were going to have us go into the pool. Like,
Oh, there you
like
go.
time trials, team of 4. And me personally, I'm okay to go in a pool because there's sides.
Yeah, of course. You can just grip
Right?
on the side.
I can just grip on the side. If I'm losing it, okay, I lose my confidence, I grip on the side. No problem.
Right.
So we make sure that we're on the side.
Right.
Right. So our team of 4 is on the side. And there's one super strong swimmer, one decent swimmer, and me and another Italian dude named Checo. And we are not good swimmers at all.
And Checo's not built for swimming.
And Checo's not built for swimming.
Yeah.
Right.
What was he,
So-
like 5'10", 230 at the time? Just tick?
He's just
he's thick, like he's all muscle, but he's shorter. I give him about a 5'8", right? And well, if you see Checo now, he's got those dimensions for short. He's been putting on a lot of bulk. No, but he's solid. Anyway, Checo's a better swimmer than me, and he's not a good swimmer.
And he's not a good swimmer.
By any means.
Sweet.
So we're getting strategic. All right, we got right.
Put the slow guy first, and then
No.
catch
Don't
up.
put the slow guy, because if you put the slow guy first, then you're never going to catch up. Right? So let's get a decent lead, and then Barker, you'll go last, and we'll figure it out. Right? So we'll try to keep up with the pack or whatever. Yo, let me tell you, when they were like cleaning up the pool, like the janitors are coming in and oh, you guys still swimming? Oh, I'm sorry. The rest
You do like 4 inches and stop, 4 inches and stop.
guy, the rest of the team are out of the pool on the sides, dying laughing, killing themselves watching. First they watch Checo. So Checo, his stroke, it was okay, but like talking about splashing, splash, splash, splash,
They're just pulling the water.
just killing the water, killing the water. If I kill it hard enough, I'll go forward.
Right.
So Checo's splashing all the water out, and then I'm like doggy paddle. Grab the side, oh god. Oh, why is it so hard? Listen, by the end of it, dude. Yo, I thank the Lord. Again, it's one of those things. Nobody had cameras to videotape it.
Oh God! If there was social media time, you could be getting killed up till this day.
It would have gone viral for sure. That's another viral moment, man. And
sure.
needless to say, we finished last.
Dead last. So I was laughing when you started that story because I'm thinking in my head, at what you said strategy. At what point did you realize before you started that you needed a strategy?
No, because we did the poll, right? All right, who swims? And
yeah,
like there was one guy. I was a lifeguard. I'm like, all right, cool,
done.
Right. You're a lifeguard. All right, you swim first, and then the other guy. So it's like thick as thieves. Parkins, Greco, Checo, Barker. Right. So. Thick as leaves. Parkins is going to go first. Greco, you're decent. All right, Greco, you're next. Barker and Checo, who's going to go like third? Who's going to go fourth? That type of thing, right? Because they're trying to keep up to the pack. Parkins is going to, if not take the lead,
yeah,
he's going to give us like
and hold some space.
Yes. And then Greco's like, yeah, I can do it, man. So Greco did all right too. So we're in it. And then Checo goes in with some confidence. Yeah. Splash, splash.
Just water everywhere.
And then, water everywhere, guy, everywhere. And they're like, yo, you got to leave some water in there for Barker. And then I go in and everybody falls down laughing because I'm doggy paddling to get there.
You're just dog paddling your way.
Okay, so before you remember, we talked some trash about doing like a try. Like
my strategy for the try is I will leave you in the dust on the bike and run.
But the water is first. So try is like a mini triathlon.
All right. So if the water's first, I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm
doing. It's 800 meters. So 400 meters to
800 meters.
And this is like out in a lake.
I ain't swimming to the buoy. I ain't swimming to no buoy. There's no way.
What if we give? I'll tell you what. I'll let your son do the swim, and then you.
And that's the best part for the try. You can have like 3 people. Everybody, someone does something.
You got to submit. Yeah.
I'll do the bike for fun, guy. I can knock that out. And the run.
I don't know about all that. I might catch you on that bike, yo. My legs is nice, yo. I know you tick the leg.
I don't know. Why Steve's got to go there?
I don't know, bro.
Because it's easy.
Because I feel like this should happen now.
Yo, I've seen your legs in those CrossFit tights, guy.
Yeah. CrossFit came up. Hey, I didn't say it. You guys said it. Holy shit!
I said it.
I've been
waiting for the try is open.
I've almost promised myself, by the way, never to say that around you guys ever.
But you're fighting. You're fighting.
I don't
want to fight it.
It's just gonna happen.
You can't fight it.
I don't want to be that BuzzFeed joke video, that viral video that goes around where people that's all they talk about is CrossFit.
Dude, I'm gonna have to send you that thing, Dwayne, for your keychain, the button.
I am in for a try, but I have to learn how to swim, and I don't know how it's gonna happen.
See, I mean, you literally gotta
buoy. You talking swim out to the buoy and back? I'm never gonna make.
Yeah, it's not just a buoy though. Think about it. There's gonna be
wake
150 people.
No,
going to the buoy.
Yep.
No,
and so if you're sitting there waiting, so I watched one first before I said I should do this. I watched one first, and my friends were in it, and a fairly fit friend came in last, and I thought he was dying at the swim because it's the first like 20 people. Yeah, they're grabbing, but there's also like not professional, but competitive athletes, Canada-wide or so nationwide or provincial, who take part in this as a warm-up. So they start in July. There's one every couple of weeks up until September, all the way through the lakes from the south to the north, pretty much. And So the first 20 people are ones wearing like pennies, and they're wearing like the suits that are half off their bodies so they can show their flex, and then they run and put their shoes on, and where everybody is pulling up the rear. But we have to do it. We have to do it. I was at the finish line, and there was a fairly there's a lot of different shapes and types of people and ages of people that finish.
Okay.
And they simply say just like a marathon, because it really is like a marathon. It's really about your fitness level, not your body type.
I need to know what the maximum time is for the swim.
There is no maximum.
Bam, I'll even give you a flood.
Don't even say that, because if you start at 8 a.m. and you're still swimming to the buoy at 8 p.m, then be like, yo, just wrap it up.
I think you have to wear actually one of those flotation device suits, so that just from a liability perspective, so you can't drown.
Yeah, just in case.
Well, you could if you were thinking that you can't breathe and you undo the zipper and then just let water in. Sure, you could.
Doing the zipper, right? If I can wear floaties and whatever and flippers, I'm in. I'm wearing whatever flotation device I can get.
I'm not crazy about cold
Subaru.
water in general. There's something about really cold water, just swimming, it just turns me off.
But it's the summertime, and if you only do the ones where it's hot,
there's something about no branches. There's no side. You can't grab it.
That's not to grab onto.
You can grab a person. That's the other bit. You grab a person.
No, I'm not grabbing anybody.
Well, that's what happened. So my friend Craig was people just grabbing him. Just grab.
Rewind back to in high school, and I remember this like it was yesterday. We were in, right? It was a couple of the guys from the football team, and we went to the guy's pool. We're hanging out, blah blah blah, and it's a little small backyard pool.
Is it burger?
Yeah. Right, little tiny deep end, whatever, like jumping off this and that. And again, I'm comfortable because I can see all sides. Right, I go in, and Keith makes the mistake of taking one step too far, getting to the deep end, and Keith can't swim either. Right? And who does he grab? The other guy that can't swim, and he's pushing me under the water to try to get his ass to the side. Right? There's just too many moments where God is saying, "Yo, get the hell out of the water, guy." So, I will placate my children, and I'll go in the pool if we go to Jamaica or whatever, right? And again, that water comes up to my chest.
Yeah, there's no real deep end when you're at the resort ever.
No. And then if you go into the sea. Right, I'm going out to again where it's waist deep, chest deep. That's it, and I'm like, oh, well, that was fun, guys.
No tide.
No, that was cool, guys. I'm going back in.
So, did I hear that we're all in for a try this summer?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. You say this summer? How am I gonna learn to swim?
Well, you just gotta go to the pool and float. That's it.
Or just bring the kids, and you don't do the swim part.
Yeah.
So they can do the swim part for me.
One of them could.
I don't think they're out to the buoy and back type swimmers. They're they can swim. They're not like sneaks in grade 6 swimming.
No, they're not.
And last people cheering them on.
Well, there are going to be tons of people cheering, but it's like regular humans and some provincial.
That was a pity cheer, by the way.
Yeah.
That was, hey, look at the little black boy last in place swimming in the pool. Oh, so cute!
Look at him! Look at that! It's new.
Oh my gosh! Dude, if that was if the social media was around, bro, I'd be on the internet today still talking about this black kid, the only black kid in the pool last.
Yo, there's so many.
Got to start somewhere.
So speaking of start somewhere, it's the Subaru series. I'll send around. The first one I think is in July, and they go from Niagara on the Lake and just keep going up to Gravenhurst in the Muskoka area, and tons of places in between.
Get me a sponsor for that floaty suit, man. Otherwise, it's not happening.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get somebody to be like, "Hey, man, this is."
I feel sorry for Dwayne. Give this to Dwayne.
You could use it for viral.
Your entry fee actually so I think depending on the type of entry that you pay for, you get the suit rental.
You rent those nasty things?
I know. Some people do, and some people just buy them. Well, at least At least it's not a small pool where it's full of urine. You know, it's a lake with
That's what I
urine.
mean. Like, no, but I'm like, I have to rent some suit from that other guy had his balls rubbing up and then pissing in that tank. Yeah, I'm not trying to get that rental suit, you know.
Or you can find someone that you know who does not piss and shit inside of their shit. And pour
Let me
their-
ask you something. Let me ask you something. You really think so? My man's gonna that
He's,
never really piss in the suit?
yeah, he's gonna be honest.
You really think that? You really
Yes.
think that?
Oh, you
I
can use my
guarantee
photo
it.
suit, man.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I
man.
just it's clean.
Come on, man.
It's clean.
All
and
you have
easy.
to, if you just say, "Hey, remember it's me,"
This isn't
just say,
isn't like the
"Remember it's
resort where
me," and would you
this isn't
actually
like the
give it
resort.
to me to wear?
This is not like the resort. If you pee in the pool and then the liquid, whatever the red dye or the blue dye shows up because you peed in the pool. We're talking real shit now.
I would tell you. I would tell you what this is. You can, but there's this one time. I'd tell you.
Well, at least you're honest. Then I'd be like, it's one time, and you washed it a few times since then. Okay, cool.
I'm not buying
Yeah.
a suit. There's nah, baby.
So I'll tell you that I don't have a suit, and I've never done that in the lake in a pair or something, because when you come out, you don't know if it's discolored or not. So you really can't take a chance. You should
No, you
never.
can't. It's black. It's all black.
I don't know.
Never like any other color.
Well, I've got colorful shorts.
Yeah, well, I got nice colorful shorts too, but
You,
that's the other thing too. I wonder about that because I've never
say hi to
I've
the
never
people.
swum in a full on like Iron Man bodysuit. How much mobility do you have? Hey, what's up, little man?
hey,
Not
what's
much.
up? How are you?
Not much.
What's going on, bro?
Good.
What are you up to?
Nothing really. Just getting ready to go to bed.
Just be careful. This is
Ready
a
to
live
bed.
broadcast on the internet, so just be careful with your language.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, like he was gonna say something too. Hey, listen. This is really important. Okay,
Okay.
you listening?
Yeah.
All right. So your dad has agreed to do a triathlon,
Don't laugh.
although he does not swim. So, even though it's a mini triathlon, he's volunteered you to swim for him the swim part, and then he gets on the bike and then does the run. Are you okay with that?
I don't know how long I would be swimming.
Yeah, the swim
for.
part. The swimming is two laps of a regular track.
So like
no,
800 meters.
I'm
no.
not doing that.
So can we get you trained for that maybe, or maybe get your sister and you to train? So you do 400
No, that can't happen.
and your sister does 400. No,
No, the one person. So there could be three people,
No.
one doing run, bike, and swim individually, but
yeah,
you can't do team of one of the segments.
yeah. I was gonna say one go and then the other one come back, and the other jumps in, and the other one goes back.
Because the buoy is in the middle of the water. Like there's no structure. There's no.
There's no structure. There's nothing to hold on to.
Like, yes, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
Thanks for
Sorry.
thinking about that for a second, though.
Tell your dad.
No.
Tell your dad we're sorry that he's gonna need to find somebody else.
I still he's a 45-year-old that can't swim.
Yeah. So you're.
What are you trying to say?
Listen. Your job this summer is to really
gonna
try
learn.
to get your dad to learn to swim. Okay.
Okay.
This is important. We're all going to be on him. So by come around August, at least he can do, 100 meters. That's all.
Actually, Dwayne, we can do a practice. So at the lake, I can put I know where the 400 meter mark is. So I know we could put a virtual buoy there and back. So we could do
I
it.
don't know why you want him to do 400 meters. You're going to kill him already before you can even start. What's wrong with you?
Okay, we'll do 200 and back. And
Just do 100.
Do 100.
it's a
And
joke 100.
yeah, 50-50. That's just like a pool. 50 there, 50 back. And if he makes that, then we'll work on 200.
Oh, by the way, it's harder to breathe in the suit.
Right, Avery? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, make
Work
more
50
sense.
there. He breathes really hard for like 15 minutes before he did to get to the other 50, and then we keep working on that, and then we'll work up to 200. But I think trying to do 200, I don't want to be responsible for your father's murder. I am not going to prison for nobody.
I don't think he will die from. I don't know.
No.
He's big enough to hold enough breath.
He better.
I'll make it.
Yeah, you'll make
He'll
it.
make it.
All right. Big up the
I'll
people.
see you later, Ave. Be
See
good.
ya.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya. Have a good night.
So we made a deal with your son, yeah?
Mhm.
Sounds like, yep, that was a
The
deal.
deal is Greg was trying to kill you, by the way.
I
He's like,
figured that.
we're gonna
figured that.
start a buoy and we're gonna make it so there's 400 meters. I'm like, bro, you want him to die? Like, at least start. Let's do 100,
100. Let's
50
do
there,
10
50
meters.
back.
How
No,
about
no.
10 meters?
Yeah, no, but once you get past 100, you're good. You already your lung capacity is straight.
Really?
You can tread for about a minute and then get going to the next 100. You're good.
Or just
Sets of
switch the
100.
switch the backstroke and you'll be safe.
Yeah, I mean, and remember they got those safety boats, so that when one comes by, you just hold on to the board for like a bit.
There's no safety boat.
Listen, I do not want to be that
They
guy.
always have a safety boat.
I don't
No,
want to be
there's
that
a
guy.
there's a
I have to
person.
drag somebody out of the water. I'm not going to.
There's
be
people
that
at the
guy.
400-yard mark or 400-meter mark, and if someone and the zero, so if someone is between
Yes.
0 and 400 either side, then someone's jumping into the
Yeah.
water to take you out. And there isn't. There's no
That's-
boat.
yo.
So you don't get to keep going.
Yo, that's not me. I'm not going to be that guy. Oh my god, did you see that guy that got pulled out of the water?
Yeah, did you hear about that guy? What happened?
By his
There was this
foot?
guy, he got in like 15 meters and he started screaming. He was like, somebody, anybody come get me.
But the strategy, Dwayne, could be just wait till everybody goes. So wait, like give them their own 30, race all they want, and then jump in and take your time.
That would be my
And
strategy.
to hold on to what?
No, I don't need
Nope,
to hold
there's
on to
no
nobody.
holding.
Just give me some sturdy floaties, man. I'm good.
No, you've got your flotation device. You've got your flotation. Your suit is your flotation device.
So I can't put floaties on my arms.
Really bad.
Not in public.
Listen,
Hey, what
listen.
company?
It's not
What
about
company
style.
ensures-
It's about
what,
finishing.
what company ensures this kind of badness? By the way, just so that we got things covered. Like, who covers this type of stuff?
I'm sure they can make a man floaty, man. I got no problem with that.
I
Make a
don't know.
man floaty.
Well, the suit is a flotation device.
I understand that.
Is the
Thank you.
float-
Thank you,
is a
Toonie.
flotation.
The third time that Toonie says it, maybe it'll register that the suit is a flotation device. I got it. I got it.
Yeah, you could
Hey,
cheat possibly.
Ascot, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
you could cheat.
And do what?
So if you could prepare some kind of propeller system that no one can see
Is that James Bond movie now? Yeah.
off the
Yo,
butt,
that guy's like floating. He's like flying. It's like he's got a propeller or
This
something.
guy's just skimming the water.
but not so fast as to draw attention.
Yeah, you're not. Or you can hire somebody underneath and drag you like by a string thing while you're floating, and you just wave your hands by the side. That's it.
Okay, there we go. So we're
I
committed.
will have to do it the old-fashioned way
That's
because I do realize that the suit is a flotation device. Thank you, Toonie. But I
Once
need
again.
something else.
No, you're not going to want to do that.
I'm gonna
You're
need
not
I need for my comfort level. I would want it doesn't. I'm not talking about the orange floaties on my forearms or my upper arms or nothing like that. So I'm not gonna look like a child in the water.
Oh my god, that would be the best. Pink floaties.
I would put on a shirt saying,
Sponsored by Lunatic Styles.
Sponsored by Lunatic Styles. I'm with Toonie. We might as well go viral. If I'm gonna try to kill myself swimming 400 meters out to the buoy, we might as well fucking go viral.
You guys are killing me right now, man. Holy shit.
We could do that actually. So I'd have some
Pink
people with
floaties.
the,
No, but people would feel like it was made up and like we
yeah.
did it, like
They
we
were
did
like,
it on
"Where's the
purpose."
movie camera?"
Yeah, and it
but they
would
would
like,
look up and see the drone cam. The drone cam would just be above you.
Drone cam, and you just see these pink things going like.
but they would think that I'm faking it when in fact
Yeah, of
I'm
course
not
they'd be
faking
like, "This is a joke."
it. I'm
No,
trying
you'd
to
be
stay
like, "No,
alive.
this is serious.
Like, yo,
I'm
style
just
is out
trying
the
to not."
window. I'm trying
Yeah,
not
I'm
to
not
die.
trying not to drown.
You give the
Yeah.
give them the Steve Harvey dumb face with the big bottom lip
Yeah.
open. They will know that you're not joking. So that is
Okay.
swimming.
So that's swimming. Okay. Oh my god, it's gonna end up badly.
But we're,
I have
but we're
confidence
committed.
in
Right?
you.
We're committed.
We're committed. I'm down.
All right.
I'm in.
Okay.
All I got to do is swim like remotely okay, and then just get to the bike. I'll be all right.
With your ribbons,
I don't care if I come in
like
last. I'm gonna wear my ribbons.
You'll be fine with your
My
ribbons.
suit.
It's everybody else.
Yo, I won a blue ribbon in grade 6. No fool yourself. That sneaks.
Well, then how could you?
Oh, is he gonna look for them? Oh, snap! He's gonna look for them.
Oh God! Wait, he still has them?
See that? He's really proud of him if he still has them. No joke.
Why would you have participation ribbons?
See, I got the yellow badge and the orange badge. Right, which was the basics. Can you float on your back? Check.
Yeah.
Can you hold your breath for 15 seconds? Check.
I stopped taking the lessons. There was one point where you had to, I forget the term, but it was like pre-lifeguard.
Oh, you were pre-lifeguard?
The blue ones, like it was after
Dolphin,
yellow,
isn't
and,
it like dolphin or something like that?
after yellow, after orange, but before blue.
Oh, the little
and,
badges.
and it's the track that if you want to take this one, you better be preparing to go down like that path or don't even do it.
Mhm.
And you had to tread water for a couple of minutes. I said, I'm not doing that. I don't need that. I don't need it. It conflicts with either basketball or football. One of them. Just say it. No one's going to challenge you. Anyways, we're in Subaru Challenge this summer. Try.
I'm gonna have to
It's
call
just
some names,
finishing.
guys.
And my only trash is I will beat one of you.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
I won't be last.
Yo, I need. There's got to be some kind of like. I'll give you a time split on
a gimme,
on the
some sort of gimme, a time
Yeah. on the
that'd be
swim
fair.
at least.
That would be fair.
How's
Give
it
you
fair?
like a 10-minute. I'll give you a 10-minute actual split,
Mm-mm.
an extra like advance. So it'd be almost like you took off first, and we wait for 10 minutes and then go.
So
That would
be,
happen.
That
I'm
would,
just
be
saying
fair.
the end of the race. The end of the race would be the end of the because I garner that it's going to take you about 20 minutes to try and do that swim.
Oh
Well,
God.
it shouldn't take you 20
20,
minutes.
Oh,
but
20
God.
minutes.
It's supposed to be like 4.
I know it's like 4 minutes, but I'm
Okay,
just
so
saying,
Dwayne,
I
800
see-
meters
that's
is
why I
4
said-
minutes.
yeah,
it's about that. I think it's
What
about
kind
10.
of like fish people are you, man?
not me.
Listen.
It's just, anyways. I would be down for giving you like that golf handicap version for swimming, like if you didn't talk so much trash about your biking. Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna bike the hell out of you. You talk
That's why
some
I'm only
smack
giving him-
about biking.
That's why I'm only giving him 10
He
minutes.
shouldn't get anything.
No, he should
know
get the
what?
10 minutes because
You know what?
if Speedy Gonzalez is what he says he is, then he should be able to make up for it on the bike.
I'm
He's probably going to be stronger on the bike. You're not going to catch me in the run, that's for sure.
all I have to
think
do is
it's a-
learn how to
it's a-
swim and be able to do.
What is it? A 5K run?
It's a 10K bike, 2.5K run,
5K run.
2.5K
Oh,
run,
okay.
2.5K?
and 800 meters. Let me just look it up.
Oh, fab.
Let me close my male sperm count browser tab.
Sneaks does that for warm up and CrossFit.
Listen, stop. I am training this year so that I can do Murph with the vest on this year. This is gonna be my first year doing it with the vest on.
Oh shoot. Okay.
So that's 1 meter. That's 1 mile run. That's let me just look it up.
While you look it up, the try is a little bit different distance. Sorry, it's 750 meters, which is fine. A
better for
20K bike, not 10, and a 5K run.
Ugh. My legs are gonna be toast.
And there's another one. It's
Oh.
750 meter
Uh-huh.
swim, same, but a 30K bike,
30?
and then a 7.5K run.
Come on.
Yo, they're trying to kill us.
Nah,
man.
I can't do that. Man, I can't do that. That would never.
So then the Subaru
Yo.
series. Yeah.
I just in this past summer, I would bike and then run, or run then bike. It's hard. Eh?
Yeah, it's very hard because that transition from getting off your bike to running, man, you feel wasted. You
Yeah.
really feel.
So now
unless
there's-
you're going to be in a lake, then say swim out to the buoy and come back.
No, there's a different one. So there's an easier one, and I think this is the one that I was thinking about. Was 375 meter swim, 10K run, and 2.5K. 10K bike, 2.5K run.
That's more my speed.
What is it? Sorry, say again.
So it's a 375 meter swim,
That
a
sounds good.
10K bike, and a 2.5K run.
That's more my speed.
That sounds manageable. That sounds manageable for him. I'll still give you that 10 minute.
Why you
Don't-
gonna?
I'll still give you
God.
that 10 minute.
Oh
I'm
God!
gonna still give you that 10 minute, and then we're gonna get down to business.
Yo.
It's gonna take.
Yo, let's break this because the trash is gonna come too hard.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good.
So so in summary,
I'm just gonna start
we're all in.
I'm gonna just start throwing memes on Facebook at you guys. It's just gonna be raw, bro.
Bring it on. So we're all in.
By the way, so
There's no handicap.
So we're all in. There's no handicap.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no handicap,
375.
Mr.
375, 10K bike, and 2.5K run. The run and the bike are going to kill me, but I'm still going to be doing.
Wow.
Yo.
If
And I might
Dwayne,
trip,
if,
and I
Du-
might trip,
if
Richard.
Dwayne works on his swimming and gets a good 200, you might have a chance because you're gonna die out on that last 100, no matter how long you practice between now and then. That's a guarantee. But the bike, you'll be okay. You've been playing soccer your whole entire life.
I've been biking all summer because of my knee.
Exactly. So
I do
know,
10K for fun.
I know.
I do
so
10K for fun, fool.
You see that? He's lean. He's like, I do 10K for fun.
Okay, just so you know, but just to set the trash, Dwayne, before you go like too over the board, in that the bike is primarily uphill, up an escarpment.
All right.
Oh, silence!
I just got to change gears, man.
silence.
Come.
You have gears?
Listen,
Oh, I got gears.
Farhaven is
gears.
flat. Farhaven is
Yeah.
very flat. So
Yeah,
you can't tell me nothing. You better start hitting those Gatineau hills, son.
yeah. Larkin is not a hill.
Yeah,
I'll do what I
Lurkin
gotta
is.
do, man. I'll do what I gotta do, man. Tony's
For those who
talking
don't know,
like
Gat-
he's been riding around the hills. You've been riding the hills too?
Absolutely not.
Listen, seven hills in Vegas is no joke. I was riding those hills. Those things almost cramped me up a few times. It's like hill after hill after hill.
So there's also another one we can talk about instead. There's a sprint swim bike. So it's 750 meter swim and a 25K bike. Okay.
I don't
you're-
want to be sitting on a bike that long.
When you're biking, like once you break 10K,
Yeah.
right?
It just gets ugly.
Yeah,
It
gets
really
ugly.
does.
And if you break 15K, I'm warning you guys. I'm warning you guys.
Oh,
'Cause
I know.
I,
Listen,
I did
10K is
it
one.
in the summer.
Listen, 10K is one of those things you could do as a kid. You just go from one side of town to the other. You go downtown, you come back uptown. That's 10K. But when you actually have to do that and then run, after 10K, like
what
plus
I'm saying.
anything
That's
plus
what I'm
that, I am no hero here, so I ain't trying to like prove nothing. I'm just telling you,
Perfect.
I already know what
So-
it is.
Yep. So we're 370. So it's the try. 375 swim, 10K bike, 2.5K run. There is no handicap, and there is no subbing out for somebody else.
Okay.
Okay.
And you don't need like a special bike. You don't need special shoes.
You better get some special shoes.
I actually might need some
You
good
need those
shoes.
You need those slip off shoes that then slip into the next thing. Yeah.
But that's the 35 seconds I gain on the slip. I don't need 35 seconds.
Oh man.
Does it have to be comfortable to be able to last? Okay.
Wow.
That is swimming.
To be continued. Let's wrap this one up.
Yeah,
To
we're
be
done with that.
Mhm.
So, our next topic, something I'm savvy in, is customer service. And do we really think there is anything such as thing as this really good customer service in North America, or where has been the best customer service?
The best customer service.
Like, does that exist in 2017 in terms of like there's so much automation?
So all right. So here's what I think. I think that a lot of people, a lot of customers over demand.
I agree with that.
right? So they feel like you have to make them feel special just because they buy your product or bought your product or were thinking about buying your product, right? On the flip side, the people that are there to service the customers, right? And there's levels of customers. I 100% agree with that. But the people that are servicing the customers don't look at the level of customers. They treat everybody with a go stick it in your hat type attitude.
Right.
All the time. So when you get decent customer service, you're like, oh my God, that was like fantastic. No, it was decent. But you're just so used to like being treated like a piece of shit.
When we say customer service, are we saying I bought something, I have a problem, I'm going to contact Bell or whoever the company is to solve my problem? Or are we thinking like experience as a customer?
So pre or so during or post, right? I think those are the most important. During what you're actually going to buy and post.
Yeah,
right?
And it's not always a problem. Sometimes it's a simple question. Sometimes it's yo, where can I pay my bill? Like I haven't received this bill, or there was a charge for this, but it was supposed to be this, and this. Like, how do I fix that?
So we're not talking about any kind of automation stuff. Let's leave that completely out because
the automation is like that's a whole.
That's terrible. The whole like IVR.
That's a whole other thing. I don't even get into that. Yeah. I mean, because there's different levels. Some of it's done really well, and some of it's really done terribly. Yeah. It's gotten better, but I don't want to get into that. I want to get into because I still believe that personal touch is something that we still will have for a good while, and some people do it really, really well, and other people do not. And it makes.
I've never had it done really, really well. I've always had it okay-ish, and I think the reason why is that maybe it's the types of things that I'm looking for support for. So it's a bill for a service
tech or billing. Like a billing thing or a tech support thing?
Either or, actually. Even like a government thing. So small business looking to understand, I've got my GST number. I'm just going to try to pay this tax online or something else I have to do. Like anything from I bought this mouse to need to buy a mouse to a service. In my experience, either on the other side of the fence, we're working with the team who is doing that and trying to give them the information they need to be able to answer the question, or the person making a request of someone else. I think there's a disconnect because I'm trying to get, so my motivation as a person trying to contact you is to get my answer. Your motivation is to get me off the phone as quick as possible. The time to resolution is how you're measured. Whereas I'm not measuring you by how quickly. I want to get it done. I don't need to be the one who's off the phone in 3 seconds or 7 seconds or 25 minutes. I just want to get my thing done. Whereas the support person who's been there for very little time and they always switch out all the time, so there's a lot of movement, they're not there to serve me, really. They're there to resolve an issue as quickly as possible. My little world.
So I have a question. Okay. Do we have any recent examples of what we consider to be good customer service?
Yes. Yesterday.
What?
Yesterday.
I've got one good, but go ahead, Nix.
I got a call. And the call was, oh my God, the Rogers phone bill. Remember, I just got back. Okay?
To Canada.
I just got back to Canada. Which, by the way, all these I don't even get into that.
Yep.
All these cell phone companies are teething up here. I don't even know how people do it. Like after what I've been experiencing for the last 4 years, it's a whole other thing. But that nevertheless to say, I was trying to okay, what's my alternatives other than Rogers and Bell? And I was like, you know what? It's all the same demon at this moment in time. I just got to, I break it down to customer. I actually broke it down to customer service. Because the billing is for me is all the same. Because even if you get a cheaper with some other cheaper thing, it's you go drive out of town and you lose service. So you got to go with the guys who own the network. It's just that way, right?
Yeah.
Here. So okay, for me, customer service is a thing. Can I, if I have any problems, billing, blah 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 blah, options, service things when I go out of the country. What are their all those great options for service is what I'm looking for. So obviously it was Rogers, and got a bill, and it was $1,000.
Oh my God!
I've been here a month.
Oh my God!
$1,000. Okay.
Oh my god.
Hold on to that. Feel that. Because a man was ready to jump through the phone and kill people. Like, where are you guys at? We're like, who do I talk to about this thing? Lots of people have had this type of situation. I'm not the only one.
Yeah. But I've never heard
I hear these
1,000.
stories-
I've heard a couple hundred, never heard 1,000.
I came back from Miami one time and I didn't know like how certain things were working, and I thought I had like an extra, when back in the days you'd have to buy up a certain amount or whatever.
Yep.
And and they literally had to go back onto to hear the recording to be like, yeah, you're all right. So, that didn't happen. He shouldn't have told you that, blah, blah, blah. I literally had to fight for weeks. This was not that situation. And so when I first got the phone, and as we're walking around, all of a sudden the phone's pinging. It said, "You're gone over the data. $10. Gone over the data. $30 extra for this much data." Because like in the US, you can buy like a gig for like $15. You go over like a megabyte here, it's like $25. You know what I mean? Like, I don't exaggerating, but I was literally looking at the price of the data go up in my hand. It went up to $97 by the time I could try to call the guy, and I was literally trying to shut off data on the phone so that I wouldn't have to deal with it. So I'm in the mall. I run upstairs. I talk to this guy. He's like, "Oh," long short of it, he knows exactly what's wrong. He's like, "Oh, your billing cycle starts on this. For some reason, it thinks that you're at the end of your cycle and that you're finished your data thing." And I'm like, this is an easy fix from a technological aspect of it in terms of like all the money that Rogers has. This is a very simple fix. Like, I don't know why this would happen, why he's even saying that. Oh yeah, I've seen this happen before on a regular basis. I don't know what happened, but for some reason on the cycle it didn't work. So I tell the guy, I call the people. I actually am online chatting with the online chat thing with the woman, and I took screenshots of everything because I knew this was going to come back to haunt me sometime.
Smart.
This better not come back, and then somebody says, "No, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what we said," right? So I had the chat. I had spoken to the person online. I also had talked to the guy in the store. So I always saying the same thing, and then she was like on the phone for me for like 25 minutes, and she's like, "Okay, everything is good now." I said, "So I'm not going to have to worry about this extra charge." And I said, it's not going to, because it was doing this, like when I first got the phone, I think Apple had some issues, and it was doing the ball thing, swimming around, and like it was trying to update. And I don't know if it was using my data, but I told them that's what was going on. I can't even shut off my phone. So that's a whole other thing. So again, service, call her up. She does a pretty good job. Very patient. I'm very patient on the phone because when we're going to talk about customer service, I think it's important that you come onto the phone very calm. Even if that other person on the other line is having a shitty day or they're just shitty, like in terms of their attitude, you can turn that around. I learned that from selling records, selling anything. I know that you can have the worst type of person come in the store and make them leave a completely different person. That's my training. That's how I train people. That's my training. So I make sure that I'm really calm. I tell them what's going on. She fixes the situation. She tells me it's all good. Fast forward, man calls and says, "Oh, we checked the bill to pay the bill." I'm like, "It's $1,000." Okay, I'm upset, but I'm gonna check out what's going on. Call. "Hey, how you doing?" Guy's real cheery. I'm like, "Well, sir, we have a problem. I've got a bill here for $1,000." Then he says, "Oh, okay, let me check that out for you." Not even like surprised, just like, okay. So he checks it in. He's like, "Okay, yeah, oh. Like that's he's like, "Well, what happened here is you went over your cycle thing here." And I was like, "Okay, before you go any further, just so that you have something to preface this with, there are notes on the account." Because I told the girl, make sure you make notes, right? Because you have to tell them that so that the next person who wasn't in the conversation knows what's going on. So thank God for that. Remember that. Always ask them to make notes for every time you have a situation because it helps you.
And their name and the time.
And their name and the time. Notes. Yes, all that stuff. I've learned the hard way. You can screw yourself if you don't. So he does all his due diligence. comes back and he says, okay, yep, looks like he turned off your because it kept giving me the signals. What he did was, or she did, sorry, was turn off your warnings. So while my data kept going through the roof in the last middle part of the month, not only did it not count for the data I already had, it said that I already used up the data before I even got to my cycle beginning. So from day one, when my cycle started, it was already kept going. So it was acting like I already had spent it, plus I didn't get it back. But because she turned off, she texts and says, hey, you're going over. And I said to him, nobody in their right mind would not at least call you if I didn't get a text and say, hey, this is up to $250. What's going on, right? It got to $1,000. And it was only because we had to pay, looking to pay the bill, that we even found out that it was that high. So now I'm like, do you guys see where the disconnect here is? Somebody was doing something that they thought was trying to help, and unfortunately it was a hindrance. Anyways, this guy was amazing. He was patient. He called somebody. He asked some questions. He came back. He's like, I'm really sorry about this, that, the other thing. And he says, okay, it's this bill. I'm like, that still sounds kind of high. And he breaks down the bill more. I'm like, would you say about $97? From what? He goes, well, before when you first started, I'm like, it's in the notes. That wasn't supposed to happen. Comes back to me again. He says, you're right, sir. This, that, the other thing. And he's laughing and gaffing me, little jokes, this, that, the other thing, keeping it cool. And he did everything that I needed him to do, fixed the problem. Did take 30 minutes, but it wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be. And he did everything he was supposed to do and go beyond that. And I paid the bill for whatever at the moment, and it was all straight.
Wow, that's a good news story.
I was floored because I've never had that good a service on the thing. I also have a theory though, like, and this is some stupid theory, but I'm like, would somebody actually purposely just make that thing go through the roof just so that you can look like you guys are doing some really cool stuff to help me out? Like, you almost seem too fast for him to fix it.
Or you pay it. Like, either way. Yeah.
So I it should have never gotten to that. So on the service end, you're giving people heart attacks, and just like you're paying all this money and you expect good service. And that for that part, I wasn't happy. And he asked me, like, everything okay? I'm like, yes. I like to put on my notes that, you know, I'm very concerned about how you guys do your billing in terms of what's going on. But other than that, you know, I think there's some improvements to be made. But you were great. Thank you for your service, and everything was cool. That's never been that good for a phone company situation.
I've never heard of that.
Yesterday, not ever.
No.
Now remember, I went from $1,000 to like a few $100. You know, because it's been
that's crazy.
Yeah,
I've had positive experiences with TELUS, with Costco, with Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group.
Do any of them stand out? Like Neek's $1,000 or whatever.
Standing out for different reasons. For different reasons, right? I had like one positive experience with Apple, but it stands out because it sounded like the situation I was dealing with had never happened to anyone else.
Right, like something they never
seen. Yeah, people were stumped. So it took 2.5 hours to resolve, but like they made a full note of, wow, this has never happened before. We're gonna call it tech. We're gonna this. We're gonna that. Blah blah blah. Right. So basically, what I was saying is like, yo, hopefully you guys are documenting this so it doesn't happen, or if it does happen to someone else, it's on file on how to fix it.
Right.
Right. So from that standpoint, it took a long time, but it got fixed. Right. That was with Apple. With Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group, that was related to the Grey Cup tickets. And like from the date of purchase until the day after, it was like there was somebody tracking me. Yo, Dwayne, everything cool? You're going to the game, right?
That sounds creepy.
But it was unbelievable. It really
Wow.
was like I tipped my hat to them on that, because they were like, "Yo, we just want to make sure, like, if you're gonna take a shuttle, right? We can send you like all the details on the shuttles and this and that.
Totally.
If you're gonna drive, we're gonna do like, yo, top to bottom. They made sure that, right? And I'm sure they did it for everybody that had a ticket. So picture like 40, 50,000
many
people
people.
getting the
Yeah.
same call.
Wow.
Yo, hopefully you've heard about the thing at the pavilion today. It's going on from this time to this time, and we have a shuttle that's going there, and we can like make sure that you get there safe and get home safe if you're gonna like be into the beverages, that experience. And I'm sure that it had to do with the CFL. And
That's Super Bowl status type stuff,
dude.
You never
No,
hear
yo,
that in.
It like from a small stage, like when you go to a Red Blacks game or a Fury game or whatever, from a small stage of like maximum 30,000 people to
Right.
almost double it, and the full week of event, plus like the whole country, plus like a good portion of North America has their eyes on you. Like I was really impressed with that. Really impressed. Costco,
Wow.
you know, if you deal with Costco, you have there's never any problems with their customer service ever. I bought this last year, blah
Like
blah
returns
blah.
and then
Yeah,
they just-
returns and everything. Yeah, all right, go.
Wow.
Like never a problem with Costco. It's unbelievable. Well worth the membership, man. Well worth the membership.
Yeah, we've got a membership, and
Is
Heather's
that an
membership
Ottawa thing? You do the same thing for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
And Heather's
I never really
membership
talked to
is
anybody in
so
there, so I
old.
don't know.
She's got her old picture. She's been a member for a long time. So my good experience was mostly my fault. Mostly my fault. And the person providing the service wasn't in a traditional service position. So they weren't thinking, hey, I'm going to get a call from this asshole. How quickly can I resolve it and get them out the door kind of thing? So we were flying to Calgary, Heather and I. We were going to go do something, and she was coming with me. And flying out of Toronto. So it was an early morning flight. We didn't want to have to face the crazy traffic that happens between Waterloo and Toronto on the 401. So we went the night before, stayed at a hotel right at the airport, and then parked the car there. And there's a deal because the money that you would otherwise spent just on the car parking is not that much more than getting a hotel overnight with the parking included. So it's pretty good. And normally you'd have everything prepped, you'd have your itinerary beforehand, but I was a little bit cocky because I've flown a lot.
Really?
You
And
don't
I'm like,
say.
whatever. Heather's like, do you have to know, like, what are we flying out of? I think it's Terminal 1. Don't worry. So we take the airport shuttle. That like the bullet shuttle that goes into Pearson.
Yes.
And we get to Terminal 1 and looking for our flight, and didn't really see our flight on the board, so we went to the WestJet window. Said, hey, we're on this flight, and Heather and Greg Field, and I think we're business class. And they said, oh, that's at a different terminal.
Oh God.
And when you're close to something and you've saved time and travel, that you actually are closer to being late than if you had not done that. So we were cutting it kind of short, and now we have to change terminals.
Oh God.
So switch terminals, run, get there, and Heather's pissed. She's pissed.
Of course.
But in her like super nice kind of way, just yep. And we get to the other the other terminal at the other WestJet terminal, at the other WestJet check-in station, do all the quick things, get through security, no problem, and we made it in time that we're able to catch our flight, no problem. So I thought a little bit of a sigh of relief. You get walking towards a food stall in the terminal, trying to get something to eat so that we are not eating plain food, and I hear my name. Mr. Fields, Mr. Greg Fields, please come to blah, 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 blah. Security desk, something. What the hell? So I go over to the desk. It turns out that the person at the prior terminal at the WestJet station had saw that someone dropped their wallet. I took my passport and my ticket, right? So I didn't have my wallet. I didn't need my wallet until I'm about to, I need to pull it out.
Yeah.
And it turns out that person knew what flight we were going to be on. I told them, and they remembered. So they picked up this thing. Oh, wait, that's that idiot who's supposed to be a different terminal. Who I told them where to go, and they went there, and they seemed kind of rushed, and his wife seemed nice. Normally, probably what the story would have been in their head. And they went across terminals and tracked me down because they knew that I needed my wallet, because who wouldn't need their wallet when they're flying? They're not in a service position necessarily. Well, they're in a service, but not in a support position. They're the person that's at the counter trying to do everything, almost, especially for WestJet, where they're trying to be like a concierge service without being a concierge service. She left her post, called someone to cover her post, to switch terminals, to then go to the other terminal, and then have to go over the PA system, which is not just the WestJet people, right? You have to go to the whole Pearson people to do that. And then went through security herself, even though I'm sure it was quicker, but still, to meet me and give me my wallet.
Well, she could have just put it in the lost and found and said, fuck it.
That's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's actually really good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is service. That's going above and beyond.
So I tell this story to my friend. He's a pilot at Air Canada, and he says, he throws his arms up. I'm thinking, what are you getting pissed off about? This is a good story. He said, all I hear is about this WestJet stuff. And Air Canada stories are always terrible. Why don't you say something about Air Canada? Because all I hear about is...
Air Canada tell you to stick it in your hat. In like
I've had awesome... I've had the most... So airlines around the world, Czech Airlines, Lufthansa, and then Air Canada would be my... in order. Lufthansa just ahead of Air Canada. But yeah, I'd love Air Canada. They're sufficiently international flights and local, but international. I love the international where they're like, they make you cookies. If you ask them, they leave the bottle with you instead of, can we like a drink, sir? I'd like the whole bottle.
That's business class, right?
Sometimes. Not always. Sometimes.
I think it's always a different movement.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I think Air Canada
but not completely.
I think they up their game when it's international because there's so many. Like
for sure,
airlines that they're competing with.
For sure,
right? Domestic on Air Canada, sure. Yeah,
I've had good experience. So now this WestJet, I've never had an experience in an airline like WestJet. Like the Czech Airlines was just awesome. Lufthansa, like they can bring you to the plane if you had to for some reason. If you were flying into Frankfurt to get a connection, and you have to switch across or 3 terminals each with smoking, and you have to like go upstairs, downstairs. Like they can just, hey, I got to get to my flight. Get you in a small car outside. But WestJet was, from a service perspective, that was my best experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's really.
I remember. We'll give a shout out to Air Canada because we were traveling to St. Louis, me and Peaches, and. We got tied up in security. So we're in the Pearson airport. We got tied up in security. And we kept trying to point out to like the security people, like, yo, our flight, like it's leaving like at this time type thing. And then like the line is stretching, like, those like weaving lines and out the door.
They're supposed to pull you out, aren't they?
That's what we kept. That's why we kept going. Like, hey, hi, our flight's leaving. And no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And we're looking at the time, like for 45 minutes, 40 minutes, 35 minutes, like 30 minutes. We're like, yo, security guy, we're going to miss the flight.
Yeah, get it together.
Yeah. So then they pull us out. At that point, we go through, right? And we keep like stressing, yo, we got to get out of here, man. Like
you need a dude in the car, like the little cart thing. You need that person.
There was no dude with the car, right? And we were, let's say we're at the C gate and we have to go to gate E, right? So it's a bit of a walk, right?
Right.
But I'm not going to sprint through an airport to try and catch you. Like, yo, that's not me, right? Especially with wifey and whatever, right? So I'm like, right? Do it quickly, but don't hurry type thing.
Yeah.
I can just picture Nina. Why run?
No. She wanted to run, and I'm like, yo, we're not gonna run and like possibly drop stuff and whatever. Like, we're not going there. What we will hurry for sure. So it's a brisk walk, sometimes a light jog, right? And as we're getting there, right? We're looking at it. All right, we got like this many more, and it says it has like the updates this far to this gate type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get to the gate as they're like closing the door, and they hadn't closed the door to the airplane yet, but they're closing the door and not letting anybody else in. And we get there, we're like, oh god, it's like blah blah blah, and they didn't have to let us on by any means, but I think because we weren't raging or anything like that. We're just like, yo, like it would be really sucky if we didn't get on this flight type thing. And like the girl there looked out and saw that they hadn't closed the door, radioed in, and then they let us on the flight.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Did you
again-
have checked luggage, by the way?
Yep.
They couldn't have left until you were there. If you've got the luggage, if they've got your luggage on the plane, they could not have left without you.
Well, I didn't know that then.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do that?
Nope. Once your luggage is there. So since this whole craze of 9/11,
Yes.
just imagine what you can do.
Oh, that's true. Just be like, oh yeah, I'm not getting on that flight.
Yep. I was taking a
And
piss.
then-
I had Starbucks
Yeah.
and I missed my flight.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that shit.
Well, it was pretty obvious that we were trying to get on the flight. So
Yep.
Yeah, obviously. Man wasn't trying to be like crafty or anything. You know?
exactly. So we got on, and we were like, wow, they really didn't have to do that. So
Nice. Speaking of crafty and planes and wifey getting upset, so we were going to New York for the weekend, and we thought, let's try this thing of driving to Buffalo to get to like the cheap JetBlue flight.
Yeah. JetBlue. Holy.
So get to Buffalo. Nice little drive. Wasn't a big deal. Parking's pretty easy. It isn't a huge airport, relatively speaking. And we get there, and there's some cancellations. So apparently, going into New York, there was some weather issue. You look on your phone. There's no issue. What are they talking about? Anyways, I said to myself, let's just try to get on the plane. So Heather and I, with our tickets, we just get on the plane. So we go to the check-in. They let us in. We go, shit, okay, fuck that. Keep walking. What do you mean? Just keep walking. We get to our seat, sit down, no problem. So this whole flight canceled, people talking about the next flight being canceled or overbooked, and everybody standing at the gate like super upset. We just walk through, and it turns out they then kicked us off the flight because we were in a flight earlier with the same seats, but they didn't. So here's a crazy thing at the JetBlue check-in. They looked at the flight number. They actually didn't look at the flight number. It's a different flight, different time. But they looked at the name and our ID, and that's all they matched. And they let us on the flight. And so we're sitting there, and I'm thinking to Heather, you know what, Heather, you should stick with me. I can get a flight.
I'll get you places. Let's stick with me.
Stick with me, lady.
And then she gets all red because they take us, drape us off the plane. Well, what do you mean? This is my seat right here. Well, sir, it's for an hour and a half later from now, and that's been canceled. So we got in the car
Oh
that was
shit.
parked and then drove overnight from Buffalo to New York City. Through the Poconos, jet black everywhere. She was.
I know all about that run.
Yo, I made that run
I
with
know
my
all about that
family.
run.
Sneaks knows this story.
outrunning. Listen, that is a story we've got to save. But I will say this: if you ever need to come to New York and there is an impeding storm, don't try and outrun it.
Yo, that is my favorite
Because
story
if you
of the
do
last 5
and
years.
survive, you will be crushed for days.
Well, here's the benefit of us not doing it now. I actually haven't heard this story.
You haven't heard it?
No, so don't tell it now.
You heard this?
All right.
But there's a benefit in.
Don't
So
tell.
I would be able to hear it fresh for the first time in a dedicated spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. We'll see.
It's a great one.
Okay,
I
is
tell
it
people about it.
bad?
They're like, he did. They're like, he did what? How long was it there for? I was like, look, let me give you this. He came to New York with the intent of staying for a few days. Ended up there for what? Under 48 hours?
48. It was
Not
like
even
not even.
24.
It was 24 hours.
You
Okay.
guys slept. You came. We went out. You came.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
24
Anyways.
hours.
Yeah, save
Listen.
that for another time, and then we'll tell this at the second part of that story is we'll tell Neeks about the time we were stuck in Philadelphia,
Philly.
Philly
man.
with
Coming back from
with
the show
wrestlers. Yeah,
From
we'll talk-
Vegas. Yeah, we were coming
from Vegas, right? I think I kind of almost think I remember this, but not quite.
Yeah. That's another one. So we talked about good examples. Are there bad examples of customer service? My assumption is there are tons. Is there one that stands out? Is there a single one that makes you say,
Yo,
I would literally piss on him if I saw him? in my face?
got a
hold on,
couple,
hold on. Today, I was in a store. I'm not going to say
Today.
that. I'm not going to say the name of the store. Right? If this
Why
goes
not?
out-
Why not?
No. I'm not going to say the name of the store.
Why? Because your wife shops there just for fun?
No, because
Where are you
I'm
going?
angry. I'm going to go back there. I was at the point where I was going to grab the guy by the back of the head and smash his face into the
No.
fucking
No. We will not condone.
I wanted to heal him.
Listen. We're on Jamaican smash time right now. We can do what we want. We're not talking PC now. We're talking about things we don't like. Okay,
You
All
know,
right.
shit we like.
you know that character. I think it's Walter Mitty, where like he has those daydreams.
That was a great movie.
I had so many Walter Mitty moments today because it was two separate guys.
Oh my god!
Yo.
No, you're a pretty calm person normally, and there's an edge, and then once you're over the edge, there is no more edge.
Yeah,
So
That's it.
what brought you?
it was funny because I'm shopping for computer components, right? So
Right.
I'm just trying to. I have.
He's looking for cryptocurrency, by the way.
I wasn't gonna go there. No.
That'll be a different show, and
That's
fuck
a
you.
different show over there. No, all I'm trying to do.
You see how fast he was on that shit? Ah! That's wonderful.
You guys are jokes. You got jokes, sneaks.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, all I was trying to do was get some components to updates because I have an older Mac laptop that isn't
Right.
cooperating. So the Wi-Fi component in it is broken and blah blah blah. And like we're at the point where like we can spend $500-600 to fix it, right, through Apple, or maybe we can update a couple components because you can, like, it's an older one, you can still get into the back of it.
Yeah,
and
it's in
stuff.
between that point.
So all right, maybe I spend $100-150, get it up to speed, right? Squeeze another year or two out of it, and then I'll update. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I go knowing what I want, but there's still certain things that I was trying to verify that I, as a non-computer expert, could not necessarily verify. Right? About drivers and this and that, and the last Mac update to the OS, and you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm asking, just like, I want to ask some specific questions, but they're still general. Hey, I want to buy this dongle. Can you check that there's a driver for this? It was like I was asking the guy to fucking go get me some Peruvian
For
water.
blood?
And yo, I'd like some
You know what?
Peruvian
As you
water.
described it, though, as you're describing it, I'm thinking that's not an easy task. He's gonna have to go off the floor and look.
No.
Up.
He was behind it. He was behind a computer.
Oh shoot! Okay.
So
I tried.
they have all the components in the glass case, and there's a computer. There's a desktop thing set up right there. And people come up and they ask the question, do you have this, blah, 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 and you type it in. So as per the normal procedures, I'm like, yo, guy, I'm looking at this thing. Can you just make sure for me that there's a driver for the latest Mac OS?
Wow.
Yo.
You think you're
When I
spilling tea?
say, I should have asked for some Blue Mountain coffee picked fresh from the mountain in Jamaica, mixed together with imported Peruvian water with a dash of condensed milk, but not the Eagle brand condensed milk, and I want it at 175 degrees.
Wow.
Right? The guy looked at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You didn't do your fucking research before you got here? And I was like,
Wow.
what the
Like
bomber
that?
clot do this blur? Me and him.
So you're ready to go off
No.
at this point.
No, because I had to ask the second time, right? So the first time, right, and then so I had two dongles. This is the funny part because they didn't have the one I was looking for, so I had to pick up two different ones. That's the only reason why I had to talk to this fool
in the first place.
Yo,
Yeah.
I was gonna grab him by his ginger
You
head.
can tell Dwayne's pissed for real because he's like adding every curse word every second sentence.
I was gonna grab his long ginger hair and just like the back of his head and just smash it into that, and it would have felt so good. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So not a pass by
You
dunk,
envisioned
but
it a
a,
couple
like a
times.
proper face
Proper
plant.
like full hand of the back of his hair and like
The thing just broke up on the
pussy,
table.
you can't look for it. Me nah no computer in front of me.
And then just give him some real island. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, boy, you know, see, think me work here.
Yeah. I don't have the golf shirt. Otherwise I would look it up myself.
He's in the golf shirt.
He's in the golf shirt, like everything. I had probably 5 or 6 Walter Mitty moments right there. And then I was like, I gotta get out of this store before I kill somebody.
So how was it resolved? Did he just did not look it up and you don't know?
Oh, he looked it up. So he, with great disdain, he looked up one of them. He didn't look up the second one. Right? I said, just give him a fucking thing. And as I went up to the cash, I'm like, yo, what's the return policy on this if it doesn't work? He said, you bring it back by this date or whatever. I said, good. Right. And I kind of looked back at him, kissed my teeth, and
he couldn't care. He wasn't even looking. His
good.
Teflon was up, right?
I know he couldn't care. And it took every ounce of my being not to slap him like backhands. And that was today.
Wow.
That was today.
Now, was he like a computer nerdy guy who's thinking everybody who comes to this window should already have the answer?
I'm assuming that. So the first person who was more helpful than this cat, the first person, I said, all right, do you have this? Right? And they didn't have it. I said, all right, well, let me go back to the shelf and check. So I'd asked for my 2 things. He brought out one. They didn't have the second one. I said, all right, let me check on the shelf what you got. So I came back and he's serving some other dude. Right? Which is probably their standard operation procedures. No problem. Continue serving that dude. So then I'm standing there for like 5-10 minutes like an idiot, waiting for somebody else to come. Right? You're still holding my component that I like, yo, you can't tell this guy to hold on for 2 seconds, give him my 2 things and let me go.
In retail, it's called bouncing, right? You're supposed to bounce.
Whatever it is. I should have bounced his head off the thing. So
Just one of those movies where you just grab the back of his hand and he goes, and then he just flies halfway through the back room.
So the first guy kind of set me off, but it was tempered by the fact that he was helpful at the beginning.
All right.
So it was tempered. And then after the 5 to 10 minute wait for the other fool to come, right, for me to ask and him to kind of like, yo, guy, you're behind the counter. I'm not behind the counter.
Yeah.
If I was behind the counter, I would have looked up myself.
My damn self. Obviously.
And me using my cell phone to try to look up the drivers and this and that. I'm going to be standing here like a fool for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a statement to anybody who's managing or maintaining a website for drivers to make sure it's responsive, so you can look it up on a mobile phone.
Yeah,
I only asked this question because you brought it up. Did he have like Fabio hair? You said his long ginger hair was like Fabio hair.
It wasn't Fabio length. It was longer than a cropped, like where you put the part in, whatever. So it was longer than that. So maybe he wants to go Fabio. I'm not sure. And he had a scraggly beard. The first guy had a tailored goatee, whatever. Mm-hmm. The first guy was kind of put together. So I'll give him that. Right? Maybe his appearance spared him the disdain and the wish to
for drubbing.
Exactly. But the second guy, quick cutlass across him. The second guy just set me off. Everything he did, everything he said, just set me off.
And to the second guy, did he give a little shake up of the hair when he was?
Now you're getting ridiculous.
Well, because that would be different. If the dude is giving you like brushing you off, and he's giving the. Anyways, let me look this up for you.
True disdain. Yeah. Time
that's different. That's beyond. If you the physical disrespect.
You do have time for me. It's called customer service. And if I'm like, listen, that's why I always try to approach as nice as I can. So if you actually go there with me, I have all the right in the world to go there with you. No, you can't have me come to you in a proper way, ask you some simple questions you should have the answers to, and then you roll your eyes because you're $7.50 an hour at your backside. That's not my problem, bro. You know what I mean?
Simple questions, guy.
I got to give you some credit. You actually bought it. You could have simply, so one thing, holding back the bouncing of his head, but you could have just said, fuck you, and drop him right in front of him and walk away. You didn't. That's good.
But that would have been, that would have been too easy.
It wasn't about him at that point.
Yeah, it's not about me. It's about, like, I'm fixing this. There's a purpose why I'm fixing the laptop, right? So
right,
it's not about me. And I didn't come here just for fun. I'm not one of those dudes that goes into a computer component store just to look at the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say about those people? Those are humans too.
Yeah, I didn't say there was anything wrong with them. I said I'm not one of those.
I'm
dudes.
not that guy.
Yeah, I'll go. Sometimes
I might be the guy who
store.
Yeah.
I'll go into like Best Buy and like look around, whatever. But a specific computer component store.
Yeah.
You feel like they have the hard drives, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there's 16 selections of hard drives. Or if you're looking for video cards, there's like 27 new video cards that have been released. Right, the internal speakers and fans. Oh, that's the section there. That's some hot stuff.
So I'm the kind of guy that actually would have left it. I might have dropped it and said, I probably wouldn't have sworn. I probably wouldn't have said anything to him. I just would have dropped it and left. If I was that pissed, I might have just dropped it and left.
Not when you feel like the intention is now to make him go get it so that you can get it, to make him to get under his skin even more. That's what I would do. Like, you got to make him go get that shit.
Again, it was the Walter Mitty moment of like, there's so many ways that this could unfold.
Did you have Avery or Emily with you?
No, it was just me.
Okay, well,
it's just me. When they're with me, I'm calm,
yeah.
And I'll point it out. Like, this is one of those moments where Daddy could lose his shit.
This is a teachable moment.
This is a teachable moment. This is a very, very teachable moment.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds pretty bad. That sounds pretty bad.
Yeah, so who's up? I feel like I've purged it. It's out of my system now. I'm good.
You're good now, I think. Greg, what about you?
Mine are all
had a few of them.
Yeah, they're all, relatively speaking, especially those two stories or a few stories. They're just bad, just long, don't have the information. And it's primarily tech support, not service. So I'm going to buy something or I've bought something and I just want to ask a question or I have to get a number or something. In those scenarios where I'm talking to someone whose job it is to help me and to actually help me support, not service, there's always bad. There's just nothing stands out. It's bad.
You work in this world because you do tech and you guys think about these things on the back end when there's a problem. Who do you talk to? And that. Is there a small disconnect when like guys are just reading off the book what they're supposed to do, like step by step by step, and they can't give the most human? Like, I felt like I got the most human answer from this guy with the whole $1,000.
Yeah, that's an exception because you've got.
It is an exception, is it not?
It's an exception.
So everybody's going by the script. So what is it that? Is it a non-critical thinking thing with like online tech support or talking to people on phones? Because I don't always get that with people who are in a store. Usually people have to be more honest. They'll be like, hey, I don't really know. Let me bring so-and-so over. These guys just go through like, one moment, please. And then they come back and they're like, well, and then they go through another page. And then...
Yeah. So there's some realities of high turnover.
Yep.
Their experience is customer support, not this area that you're talking about. So you're buying, like Dwayne's talking about a dongle for a laptop. This person might have been customer support for flights or something before, but they've got customer service support or customer support experience, but not the tech you're talking about. So high turnover and not your tech. And they're not expecting to understand all this stuff. So they have to have minimum steps. And then it's just going through the issue that you have and trying to triage it into what step can I tell you and get you off the phone with me. There's no escalation, as quickly as possible. And that's how they're managed. So how do you succeed in that scenario? You don't. All you can do is get through as much shit as you can.
So you just really, yeah, because I just feel like this, and I don't know. Sometimes I get more look in the U.S. It seems more local people, but even then, there's always and I get it. It's
But how do you know
business.
they're
You're
local?
supposed to. Well, I know. Sometimes I ask. I'm like, I'm
always
I'm
ask.
smart enough to be like, hey, so where? Oh yeah. I'm polite. Ask. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, so who am I talking to? And he'll say his name, and I'm like, cool. And I'm like, where you guys, like New York? And he'll be like, no, I'm in Ohio. Or he'll be like, no, I'm in Bangladesh. No, I'm in wherever.
Yeah.
If I want to find out where they are, I can do it without being an asshole and be like, what kind of work am I talking to a foreigner? Like I know a lot. Like I've heard it, like some online things where people are just really racist. They're just like,
Oh yeah.
they're just like, can I talk to an American, please?
Oh God.
What?
So let me throw another thing
At
out.
the end of the day,
I'll throw
and
another
I'm
one
not
out.
going to
So,
say that other people do better than others, but like that's just gone too far.
yeah, that's a bit much. High turnover, not necessarily contextual relevant experience to whatever they're supporting. And then there's the financials of it. So if you're buying a phone from a carrier, so let's say you bought the new, I'm not going to name a name, just a phone.
Yes.
And it's on some plan. So it's subsidized to some degree. So the carrier has to subsidize the cost of the phone.
That's right.
And they're going to make it up for Neeks' $1,000 bills. that comes every once in a while. So they're going to make it up on service. In general, the total lifetime value of a wireless phone subscriber is chewed up in 3 support calls.
What?
Wow.
So the profit from you as a human in an average way, not your $1,000 bills, but like your $80 bill, $50 bill, whatever it is every month. If you take the subsidies plus the costs, if you look at the profit, it's eaten up in 3 support calls on average.
So that's why they push their teams to kind of try to sell quickly and
right away. Get them the hell out of here. So you'll drive FAQs. So here's the things you normally going to ask. You put it in an area close to where you would buy. You have a search bar with connected really well to your knowledge base, so that someone can just say, "How do I find this driver for my Mac? Does it support it?" And it's smart enough to probably using actually Google Appliance, which is a search tech that Google sells to companies. We used to sell; they just actually discontinued it, leaving a mark in the marketplace. But anyways, so you FAQ up front. Make a search really easy, and as much as possible, avoid giving someone a number to call. Right. So give an email or give us something. So not time dependent. Email's great. And now you see the chat windows. The person could be in Bangladesh, and then you're not going to get the rude, let me talk to an American, because you don't talk to anybody. It's just a chat window. Mm-hmm. And then if you do have to talk to somebody, and then, by the way, the chat windows, because they're anywhere, the price or the need to drive time to resolution really, really low is gone away, because now it's not time to resolution. It's being able to resolve without having to escalate to a phone call. So chat's a little more friendly. But if you have to get to a phone call, you've already lost. Because if you have 3 of those phone calls, you've lost the value of that customer.
So okay, I think this explains my frustration with Uber. So Uber, almost completely doesn't want you to talk to anybody.
Who would you call, John
through text.
or Bill? Like there's support.
Nobody to talk to. Yeah. There's no support. If you have a problem, if you ever call and you're like, I want to report this person, or somebody charged you for the drive but didn't pick you up. They literally just drove by, said they had picked you up, and then tried to take the fare. Happened to me once. There's nobody to talk to. You go through a series of questions, right? Stacked questions. They, like how they've already stacked. They already know all the questions and the problems that they've had, and then you kind of send the note, and then they'll try to get back to you, and then somebody solves it over online, or they'll just like refund you because it's just easier. So that's got to be like super cheap in terms of problem solving.
Yeah, it's expensive. You talk to a human. Get the train, Bob.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I didn't realize that. It makes sense now. Makes a lot of sense. So my whole phone call with that dude online was like, I mean, our phones were cheap. It's like that's an 8 and an 8 plus. Like they're not cheap. Those things are, like I can imagine the iPhone 10 is like, it's $1,000. So you expect some proper support, right?
You
so when you
expect,
call
but-
Apple directly, you get pretty good service, and then if you got to deal with Rogers for something, it's not so bad. That's the longest I've ever been on the phone. But I realize now that they're trying to get the minimal stuff. Like that's why they're like, hey, go to our website. Here's some things you can solve on your own. You can pay through this bill through this. Yeah. Basically, they're like, yeah, fuck you, pay me. If I need to speak to somebody, they'll exhaust everything before you actually have to get to somebody. So they must hate me when I just press 0 to talk to somebody.
Absolutely. There's one exception, and I forget the name of the types of departments where it's escaping my brain, where someone's going to leave and you want to keep them.
Oh, right. The
Churn-
retention type
Churn
thing.
and retention. And
There you go. That is the exception, where it's not about how quickly you get off the phone. Is can I keep the customer? Because you've already lost.
Because that's
right?
worth more.
So do I lose big,
Right.
or do I lose small? So do I lose profitability but keep a customer, or do I lose the customer altogether?
Right.
And have them not upsell and buy more things. So in that case, if you said, hey, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you. That's how you open the phone. I hate you. What's your name? I hate you. Right. You I hate. I'm going to leave. You better.
No, you.
Yeah, you I hate. You better find someone who's going to keep me as a customer. Just 1 second, sir. Escalation to Bob. And that's a super happy, cheerful, hey, how are you? Look at good to see you. I fucking hate it. No, it can't be me. We've never met. It's probably the situation. Let's resolve this. What's going on?
That's going on.
If that person needs to resolve the situation, and it doesn't matter how long it takes.
All right.
Well, if you ever know anybody who's ever been in that kind of world, you know that that's not like a far-fetched thing.
No.
Like you get.
I remember one time trying to leave Bell, like literally trying to I couldn't find a number to talk to. I couldn't get to anybody. It was only they were keeping me in a circle. They didn't want to let me. Like they didn't want me to be able to cut off the service.
You said the magic word.
that
I wasn't gonna say the name, but it does rhyme
Bell's
with L.
good at it.
It rhymes with L.
I'm
Listen.
just saying. I don't know if it's like that anymore. That was a long time ago, but I'm just telling you.
Same with the other ones.
So everybody does it, right?
Listen. When I had all my phones, and I didn't necessarily want to change them all because it's a pain in the ass, right? But I kept telling them like, I've been with you guys for this long, blah blah blah, and I just don't get that warm fuzzy feeling on a monthly basis that you're giving to all these new customers. So like, what's the deal? What's it? Mr. Barker, there's no deal. There's nothing we can do for you, whatever. So one by one, I cut off my phones. One by one.
Right.
And every time I would call them, all right, blah, 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 I'd like search for this, search for that, right? Near impossible to find the right number to cut off a phone. Right?
Yeah.
Unless you're porting your number, which I did. So then the other carrier will call them and take care of everything.
Oh, and then
for
to
you.
get tech. Yeah.
Yes. So when I got to the last one, and right, I'm ready to settle up and like get my last bill sorted out, whatever. Right? They tried to charge me for an extra month of service. So you're supposed to give them 30 days or something like that. And I had told them like every month, like for like 90 days, I fucking hate you guys. I'm leaving. You're stupid.
You I hate.
You hate.
So then I get to the point.
That's gonna be my T-shirt. You I hate.
You I hate. Right, but then I get to the like. This is the point where my bill stops. I know this is the date, right? And I try to call them, get bounced around, blah blah blah, and then they're like, "Oh, you had to give us 30 days notice." I'm like, I gave you like 90, 60, 30, 2, like 1 hour notice, and now you're trying to you're gonna have to pay the extra, right, for 1 month, right? And the discussion was the most circular and ridiculous discussion you've ever heard.
Of course, Mr. Barker. We understand.
So they're like,
we understand.
Yeah, we understand, but
we can't do anything about it right now. But
we'll have to pay that next bill.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm not using the service. But you have to pay the bill. Okay, so I'm going to pay the bill, and you're going to send me a loaner phone so I can activate it and just give that phone to someone. I'm like, well, we can't do that. Why is that? Well, the phone will be active. But you're just saying to me that I have to pay because it's going to be active.
You're playing my Jedi mind tricks with them too.
Yeah. So I said, send me a phone. You know what? Don't send me a phone. I think I have one of your old pieces of shit phones.
Turn that on.
Yeah,
for,
so
for
I'm going to
once.
turn that on. Give me a new number. They're like, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why can't I do that? I paid for the service for a month.
Exactly.
Yo, dude, I talked to 5 different people.
and they all hate you.
And then I got
Guys,
to the last.
I'm sending you
I
a
got to the
call.
last person. Like and this is how I got transferred to the last person. I'm like, the first 4 fucking people that I talked to are stupid, and I'm hoping that you're not as stupid as the first 4 people, because this is fucking ridiculous.
And when that person went home and they say, "Hey, honey, how's your day?" This fucking black guy. How'd you always black? I can just fucking tell.
I can tell.
But yo, it started off reasonable, and I said, I just want to cut off my service.
It always does.
I just want to cut off my service. And they said, well, why? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? I had 5 lines with you guys, and you couldn't keep me happy. So I cut them off one by one. This is the last one. All right. So I just want to settle up. I just let's call it a day. The relationship is not working here. Right?
Me and you can't work again, Becky. Sorry.
Yeah. Yo.
It is you. It's not me.
And then it just
It
gets
is
to
you, it's not me, you're right.
that circular where you gotta pay the bill. What am I paying the bill for? For the service. What service? I just cut it off. No, it's for an extra 30 days. Why am I paying for service that I can't use?
You want to tab somebody at
Right?
that point, mate?
Yeah. And then they're like, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. Send me a phone then. Let me give it to somebody that needs a phone if I'm going to pay for the service. Yo, guy.
You're angry. You're an angry black guy.
Angry black.
Okay.
But it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's the
We've been shitting on some phone carriers. Let me give you, I know we're over time. Let me give you one story then, so we're not
story.
shitting. It'll be a good one. So, one carrier who rhymes with C-Mobile in the US or Deutsche Telekom around the world, they had some problems in that they, some of their towers, the way they were placed, it was hard for people to keep signal when they're going underground. Like going, when I don't mean like a bunker, I mean a basement.
All right.
Or like under a tunnel or in a car. So you can do a lot of things. You can decide to add more towers. That's more money. You can decide to upgrade towers. That's more money. You can forklift upgrade to the next level of technology. That's more money. Or there's a technology that could actually bridge a regular phone call and like a Wi-Fi call, a call over voice over IP. And it's in their network. So you as a customer would never know. So it's a handover. Your phone would have to show that it's switched over, but and you're not paying more because you're just over Wi-Fi. Now, if you are having like a 5-hour conversation and you have like some Wi-Fi minute limit, and you're going to go over it, yes, it's going to cost you. But for the most part, like the majority of scenarios, this Wi-Fi calling thing, which at the time was in Canada launched by Rogers and in the US launched by T-Mobile out of necessity. I was at BlackBerry at the time, and we were pitching that we would be the reference design, meaning whatever we give you, every other fucker you buy from has to do the exact same thing. They have to copy whatever we do. Reference design. And it's in my interest to do that, because that means BlackBerry is forever, as long as that service is viable, that BlackBerry is forever going to be sold by T-Mobile. So it's a huge, it's a definite must. And if your patent portfolio leans in your favor, then you can apply some pressure. And if your patent portfolio is light, you can use this to defer. So it makes sense all around. So I'm in Bellevue outside of Seattle, and we're just doing testing on Windows Phone and Android. iPhone didn't allow this, and BlackBerry at the time. And we looked like we were going to be successful. And they said, everything looks great. Your tech looks good. Your people look good. That's good. But we're selling to small business. And if something goes down, we're screwed, because their per month amount is way higher, like relatively speaking, way higher than like a business would be. Right. Because a business has like 1,000 lines or something. A small business has like 50, but it's a much higher per user amount. Like the average revenue per user amount was higher. So they said, we'll say yes to you if, in the event that like any of these 3 things happen, so after tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 support, if those activities have been exhausted and I've got like an issue with a customer big enough with a minimum order of this, with a average revenue of this or higher, I want to call you. Like fuck you, I hate you. I want to call you if something happens. And it was the only time
Are you talking about T-Mobile directly?
T-Mobile
somebody-
saying, no, Greg,
Oh wow.
if Construction XYZ, who has like 50 phones and they're doing all of their stuff through us, if something
Right.
goes down and we can't resolve through 1, 2, and 3, I want you personally to tell me what to do. What's your phone number again?
Oh wow.
Which phone number? Which phone number? You can't say, well, our call center. That's great. What's your phone number?
What's your phone number?
And I got called a couple of times, and at the worst case scenario, I was stopping my. Now, at the time, I was responsible for product management, meaning like decisions on what goes into a product to make sure it's profitable. I was not in support. There is no support for me. We've got support teams. You're not expecting to call me, and I should have never said yes. But I wanted feather in cap kind of thing. And I saw the benefit of doing that with Verizon. So I thought, well, let's just do T-Mobile. And maybe we were successful with Deutsche Telekom across other properties. So I said yes. I only had a couple of calls over a couple of years. And at max, like I'd stop what I'm doing, leave some meeting, and go find a distribution center in T-Mobile. I'd look online myself because what the fuck, why can't they do this? But anyways, I'll look it up. What's the distribution center? Do you have the BlackBerry 8705G in stock with this on it? Can you send it to this store? And call the person back and say, hey, there you go. And from the small business perspective, what the fuck? So you're calling call center support and you're hearing, fuck you, I hate you. And then you get T-Mobile uppy up and they say, you know what? Let me call BlackBerry directly. And then some dude gets back to you. So that was T-Mobile making sure that if scenarios like this was to happen, they've held the vendor accountable to step the fuck up. So that's a good T-Mobile.
That's actually sweet.
Yeah. And it was a couple of times. I'd say less than 10.
Gangster, man.
Yeah. that no one else expected that. No one else asked for it, and there was carriers all over the world, big and small. And people like to barter. Some nationalities more than others. And after everything's said and done, what else do you have? What else do you give me? Like no one ever said, "Can you answer a call directly if this goes wrong?" for anything except for T-Mobile US.
Wow. That's crazy.
Good for them. I'm sure other stuff
Good
didn't
for
work,
them.
but yeah, good for them.
I mean, leverage. Can't beat it.
They dropped us in the
Can't
end,
beat it.
but anyways,
Well,
they dropped the service, dropped the BlackBerry, but anyways,
one day we're gonna talk about that.
that's a different thing.
Yep.
But T-Mobile knew that this could be too good to be true. And the Wi-Fi dongle example, I mean, it's a simple thing. But if you were buying dongles for your 500 people, and you're the contingent on being able to answer whenever I have an issue, I want some like good support, not this Fabio Ginger.
Ginger Fabio.
Ginger Fabio. La bataille spear. Yeah. So that was a good
Find it a moment.
good carrier story. And Heather has a bunch too, because she was working with carriers directly with some good news stories, including like shopping stores to make sure that their store reps were good. And yeah, so they do some good stuff.
Well, we had like that same program at HMV on short. We had the thing, and a lot of stores had started. We were one of the. It was started in the U.S., but they had that person that walks through the door, so that you have to you have to be engaged on 3 different levels, right? You have to be greeted, right? Everybody does it now. People wonder why, when you walk in the store, someone says, "Hey, can I help you?" And then you're halfway through the store, and someone says, "Hey, let me know if I can help you with anything. My name's so and so." And then you get to the back of the store, and somebody goes, "Hey, you okay with everything there? You're all right? You're good?" Right? Because there's your bonuses, right, depend on how well you engage the customer.
Wow.
Right? For the amount of people that come in. So if this guy walked in the door and he wasn't greeted, that's a strike against you. If you ask somebody for something and they actually showed you where it was and actually put the product in your hand, then that's a point. And if you didn't, then you lose. If you go, "Oh yeah, it's over in this section," you just point to it, you lose. If you he knows that there's not a product in the store and you say, "Can I order that for you?" Like you've taken the extra step, then that's an extra bonus of whatever. If he goes to the counter and at the you're the cashier and you say, before you cash them out, you say, "Is there anything else that I can get you, sir?" If you don't say that, that strikes against you. There was 4 levels, and it seemed a little asinine, and I got it, like, because for me, I'm always, when I see someone around me, I would always tell guys, just ask them, and I'm like, sell what you love. You don't have to, and if you don't know anything, if I'm not here, here's 10 things that you can tell somebody this week that is great. And we would do that for each other, right? Just so that we'd have the best sales on the floor, because not everybody knows metal, not everybody knows hip hop, not everybody knows whatever. And we already had that culture, but because people, these guys at office thought the robotic way was to kind of get you into the mood of bothering every single customer that comes through the door. That's what you're seeing now, right? There's literally your money for the net, like your bonuses are actually dependent on that, whether your team or not failed. And the when you got it back, the report says so and so didn't engage, and they know who it was. Like, they kind of describe you, but they don't know exactly who it was.
Ginger.
Right. So if you were the tester, he would have failed miserably. It's almost fireable, right? In some cases, and they've lightened up on certain places, but it's one of those things where they're like, look, it's really to push the customers, right? Because the online thing is like, what's stopping me from just going online and buying it and not talking to anybody?
Yep.
Especially
music.
To wrap a lot of this up in general, and not just music, I'm going to give you I took Dwayne. Dwayne, you went to Kit with me, right?
Yeah.
Kit,
yeah,
sorry.
Yep.
All right. When you walk into Kit has no business doing as well as they do. There's plenty of sneaker places in New York City. Plenty of places that sell some rare this and that. What those guys do is create an experience every single time you walk into that store. And they give you a destination you feel like you need to walk into. They have an app and you can buy the sneakers from them. But people come from around the world just to say that they walked into that store. And the customer service is excellent. And those guys will go out of the way to get something for you. And if they don't have it, they're like, hey, man, I'm sorry. Come back around next time for the next round. You'll get whatever. Get on our list, whatever. This is where it's at, right? Like, before, you were just doing it so you could try to retain the customers. Now you're like, it's just to get people in the space to make the fact that you even have a store worthy of any type of cause. So they got you asking. That's why you get 1 million people barraging. It's like worse than when I first started that program. And like, I mastered it, but it was like a lot of people would, like, you're just trying to sell music. Then you're like, you it's on you whether the store gets its bonus or not. Literally, like, you're like, what? But that's how far customer service went on that. And that's what you're seeing now. One more light thing. Nobody does customer service better than the Japanese. Hands down. I wish anybody told me different. You walk in any store, they don't care whether you're buying or not. They think that you're going to be the future buyer sometime down the road. You may not have enough money for an Hermes bag. But they know that you had a great experience. You walked in, they might give you a little champagne. You walked around, you did your thing. And you're saying to yourself, you know what, I might save myself some money and buy this luxury item maybe a year from now. So you save all your pennies for a year and you come back and you buy that $2,000 bag. And they know that maybe you didn't buy it then, but there's a potential that you will. And if you treat them right when they walk in the door, people don't forget that. You know what I mean?
Story.
And that's how the luxury brands get you. Now they're learning that over here.
We have to talk about Japan one day, but anyways, Japanese culture.
Yeah.
That's another day. Another day.
Ichiban. Yeah, especially dancehall culture in Japan. That blows my mind.
It's wicked.
By the way, they won there was a Jamaica the big Jamrock cruise ship that they do every year now that's getting like crazy out of hand big.
Mhm.
The Japanese won the Sound Clash again this year. 3 years in a row.
Wow.
3 years in a row. Against King Turbo, again, who's just like outlandishly good with dub plates. Tony Mataran. I think that was the only ones that were there. But like, I mean, they've won World Clash a bunch of times too, also. But that just being on that cruise ship and winning that 3 times in a row, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows you how global that sound is. But in Japan, it's
It's crazy.
It's weird.
There's
It's
people
really
who,
strange.
who learn
I
patois
didn't.
and not English.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know English, but they have a Jamaican to Japanese to Jamaican patois dictionary. So a man will come up to me, you're like, hey, how you doing? He'll be like, eh? He'll be like, yo, wagwan. He'll be like, oh, wagwan. You think it's a joke?
That's another show. Yeah, that's another.
That's a whole other
It's
show.
hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways, this is good, guys.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's therapeutic. I
I
feel
hope some
better.
people learn. I'm gonna add some snippets to keep some wet people's whistles.
And for
And I
Dwayne,
can't wait to see the ginger take. I can't wait to see the ginger. To see in the news. Ottawa man gets his face tear off.
Yo, I
by
didn't
angry
do
soccer
it.
black guy.
And I feel right now like it's not gonna happen. He's good. He's safe.
and you're a better man for it. This was
You are a
cathartic.
better man for it. Yes, yeah, I could hear that. You know, the steam was coming out of your ears, and you're
Yo.
good now. That's good. All right, guys, man, this is great.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you guys stay tuned for our next episode and all stuff. Just to let you guys know, I'm doing something really cool for mid-December every day. Come mid-December, something really cool is coming. I can't tell you right now, but the next episode we'll talk about it.
Nice. Nice.
So stay tuned.
Can't wait to hear more.
Cool.
Easy.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, man.